Today we're going to explain a new comedy romance drama called Will You Marry Me? The episode opens on our main heroine, Mary, who's a designer. She's at a festival giving a presentation for a project. The people across from her don't like her presentation. They make fun of her and start gossiping about her. After listening to all that gossip for a long time, Mary finally yells, "Fine, I don't want to work with any of you. You're all trash. You don't know anything." Next scene, Mary talks with her employee, Song-yi. Song-yi says, "I heard what happened in your presentation, how you got into that fight with them." She reassures Mary, "Don't worry, I'll pay you at the right time." But Song-yi admits she has doubts, and then they talk about a later vacancy. Song-yi looks at the screen and tells Mary about it. Later, Song-yi looks at one of Mary's prints and wants some changes made. She talks to her boss and asks for permission. The boss initially refuses, but later ends up agreeing. Mary thanks her for taking the job. In the next scene, Mary goes to a department store to buy a ring for her marriage. She messages her boyfriend, Woo-ju, asking, "Where are you? I'm waiting for you." But Woo-ju is with another woman they're flirting. He texts Mary back saying he can't come, that he's in a meeting. At that moment, a teddy bear bumps into Mary. Next, Mary talks to her mother, Young-soo. Young-soo says she found out Mary registered the marriage, but that's not enough, she must have a wedding. Mary replies she won't do a wedding, she doesn't have the money, and she has other work to do. Woo-ju's mother is talking about booking a hotel. Young-soo points out that Woo-ju has a degree, and his husband is a university professor, they must have money. Then Young-soo asks where Mary is. Mary says she's moved into her new home and is setting up her things. Young-soo says she and Woo-ju should live together and not keep asking her for money. Mary says, "Okay, I understand," but then something falls under Woo-ju's foot. It turns out to be an earring. Mary says, "I'll call you later," and Young-soo asks whose earring it might be. She checks the bed and finds a strand of hair. So, next scene, Mary is with Woo-ju. Woo-ju is checking his posts and says, "Look how great this photo did," and people are liking it. Mary says she knows the user who always likes and comments on all his posts, a girl. Woo-ju gets a little proud and says she's his colleague. Mary directly asks, "Did you sleep with her?" Woo-ju throws his drink away and says, "What nonsense are you talking about? Why would I sleep with her?" Mary shows the earring she found and says she found it on the bed. Then she shows a photo of the girl from a user. The girl in the photo is wearing the same earring. Woo-ju says he brought his colleague home to show his place. She must have dropped it there. He promises he'll return it. He says this happened last week, but Mary notices from the post that last week, he and that girl went to a resort together. Mary warns him, "If you keep lying, I'll make a scene at your office and tell everyone." He eventually confesses and says, "Yes, I slept with her, so what? I was stressed, so I did it." He insists this marriage won't happen with him. Mary says she'll do things on her own. Woo-ju then says, "Forgive me, I won't do it again," and slaps himself, pleading with her to be rational. "We already booked everything. We'll waste our money." He begs, "Please give me one more chance." At that moment, a message comes in from his girlfriend saying, "I'm here. Where are you? I'm waiting on the bed for you." Mary sees this. Woo-ju hides his phone and lies. "It's a message from my boss. He's calling me." Mary asks to see his phone. At first he refuses, then pretends to hand it over and runs off with the phone. Mary stops him and tries to grab it. Woo-ju drops the phone to the floor, trying to break it, but Mary's hand gets in the way, and she gets hurt. Woo-ju says, "Are you okay? You shouldn't have gotten involved. Why are you crossing the line?" Mary replies, "You're the one crossing the line. I don't know I want a divorce. We were together for 5 years. You forgot my birthday. You didn't come on the wedding day. I put on my wedding dress myself. I can't stand all this anymore. Let's get divorced." A drink spills across his face as she storms out. So, next scene, we meet our main hero, Woo-ju, who is at the airport arriving in South Korea. He's seated next to an elderly woman. An airline staff member and a man come over and say to Woo-ju, "This is my mother. I should be sitting here." Woo-ju refuses to give up the seat. After arriving in Korea, the elderly woman thanks him. Now we flash back to the scene from 14 hours earlier. At the airport, the elderly woman's son told a man, "Don't worry, I'll have my mother sign on the plane so the land will be ours." Woo-ju overheard this. Later, Woo-ju talks to his grandmother, Pil-neon. Pil-neon says, "You made it to Korea, come to me quickly." Woo-ju says she wants to meet him, but Pil-neon says she doesn't want a meeting. "I prepared a good dish for you. Put it in the fridge and eat it later." Woo-ju says he can't come right now. In the next set of scenes, we see Woo-ju on several trips. enjoying himself, taking photos, and posting them on his Instagram. Later, Mary and Wooju leave the office together. The divorce papers will be finalized as soon as Mary signs. Wooju asks if Mary is going to tell her mother about them. Mary refuses and says she'll tell her later. Wooju says, "Our breakup was for the best. You were being too hard on me." But then everything changes. Wooju's girlfriend calls asking, "Where did you go? I'm waiting at the airport." Mary sees Wooju. He claims he's on an occasion and that the phone call was from his boss. He tries to shake hands and says, "Forget everything about me. I'll find someone better for you." Mary tells him to go jump in a lake and starts to walk away. Wooju's girlfriend calls again. He pushes her and runs off. She yells back, but he doesn't listen. At 7:01, the next scene shows Mary blowing off steam by playing a game. She tells herself, "No matter what happens, I'll live without you. I'll make lots of money. I'll go on blind dates." After saying all that, she starts to cry. On the other side, we see our main guy, Wooju, leaving the place where he'd been staying. A woman named Woo Man comes up to him and says, "You're leaving now? I don't know why I'm feeling sad." She later gives him something to eat. Wooju says, "I had to go, but next time I come back, I'll bring you bread. You don't know, but our bakery is huge. It's famous around the world." We see the bakery later. The owner is Pil Neon, who is Wooju's grandmother. Wooju's aunt Mayon is there, along with a cousin named Yongshu. Reporters come to interview Pil Neon and she's given an annual prize. So, meanwhile, Mary is at home talking with a friend and looking over the divorce papers. She realizes she forgot to sign them. She still needs to give them to someone. Then there's a knock at the door. It's a police officer and a woman. The next scene takes her to the police station, where she finds out the realtor who sold her building scammed her. The building's previous owner used to live overseas, so the realtor put the building on a fake listing, got signatures, took the money, and ran. Mary asks, "What will happen to me? I need my money. That money is my mom's." The officer says there's nothing they can do right now. She has to move out. Mary calls Wooju to tell him what happened. At first, he seems indifferent. Mary says, "You told me you knew a lawyer. Put me in touch. I need my money." She insists the money belongs to her mother. Wooju gestures toward his own pockets and says he won't help. Later, he repeats it. He won't help. Now they're complete strangers. Mary gets very drunk and tells herself he was right. They really are strangers now. Wooju's mother calls, asking about him and offering to send food like she always does. But Mary tells her not to. Yongsoo asks if everything's okay. Mary agrees. Yongsoo says she doesn't have much time left, and whatever she can do for both of them, she will. Meanwhile, Wooju is headed somewhere but goes the wrong way. Mary, stumbling drunk, has a small accident. Wooju gets out of his car and asks, "Are you okay? You should go to the hospital." Mary insists she's fine and tries to leave, but Wooju stops her. "I don't think you're okay. Give me your number. If you go see a doctor, I'll call you." Mary agrees and gives him her number. As he starts to walk away, she sees his name on his shirt. It's Wooju and stops him. "Where are you going? Why are you ignoring my calls?" Wooju says, "When did I do that?" She grabs him and starts hitting him. Wooju asks, "What are you doing?" Mary, totally drunk, screams she wants the money, 100 million won. Wooju says he has no money. He tries to get back into his car, but Mary jumps in with him and keeps kicking. He manages to pull her out, but she climbs back in on top of him, and the fight goes on for a while. Mary, wasted, insists he should be her Wooju. She cries, "What am I going to do now? Why did you cheat on me? What will I tell my mother?" "You don't have any money now." Wooju asks if she's all right. She nods, but he says, "I don't think you're okay." Then Mary looks down and realizes she's sitting on a cactus. The next scene shows Mary at the hospital, where Dr. Jin is removing the thorns. A little later, the nurses gossip that she must have been drunk and sat down where she shouldn't have. They notice she's nearby. Mary doesn't say anything and leaves. We see Jin Guang talking with Wooju, saying, "You're here for a month. Why didn't you come see me?" Wooju asks, "How did you find out?" Jin Guang says his father is Wooju's grandmother's doctor, and that during checkups, Wooju's grandmother mentioned it. Jin Guang asks, "Who was that girl? Is she your girlfriend?" Wooju denies it and starts to explain what happened. But Jin Guang says it's a long story, and he'll tell him later. While Jin Guang yawns, Wooju gently touches his face and teases him to cover his face when yawning. Jin Guang asks, "Want to go grab coffee?" Wooju agrees and then spots Mary nearby. Wooju says he had told Mary to get an x-ray, but she wouldn't listen. He runs off after her. In the next scene, Mary and Wooju are together again. Mary says she could have taken a taxi, and Wooju replies, "Would you just sit there like that?" Mary apologizes, "I'm sorry, I mistook you for someone else." Wooju tells her to stop talking. He can smell alcohol on her breath. Later, Mary stops the car and gets out, looking at the sunrise. She says, "My world is ruined," but notes that sunrises and sunsets keep happening. There must be some way out. Her stomach growls and she says, "Breakfast is on me." Wooju refuses and says he'll take her home. At her door, Mary tells him she'll send the money. He tells her to go see a doctor for a checkup. Then he leaves. Mary goes inside and lies down, asking herself why she acted that way and that she shouldn't have. Arc. Next, we see a company hosting a wedding festival, kind of like a lucky draw. Everyone writes their name and puts it into a jar. Whoever's name is drawn wins a 5 million won townhouse. The company CEO who's giving away the townhouse is Sang-yoon, and he's with his secretary. But the lucky draw is rigged. They already pre-selected who will be chosen. You can see the guy there who's the mayor's nephew. Sang slips a card and bends it a little so he can recognize it later, hiding it on his arm. The lucky draw begins. The jar is passed to the newlyweds. Someone is about to pull a card from the jar, but drops the card. It slips from his hand and he doesn't know where it went. He tries hard to find it. But just then, the card lands in his hand. He thinks it must be his because he's the one who bent it. But when he reads the name, it turns out to be Mary's. In the next scene, Mary gets a call telling her she's won the prize. She remembers the moment when she was coming back from the department store and accidentally bumped into a teddy bear. That's when she first found out about the wedding festival and decided to put her name in for the lucky draw. The organizers talk to her and explain what documents she'll need to submit, including proof of marriage. Mary starts to wonder how she'll provide that. After all, she's divorced. But then she realizes the divorce papers are still with her, and she never signed them. She quickly opens her laptop and cancels the divorce filing. Meanwhile, one of the staff members talks to Sang-yoon and says, "The woman who won the townhouse called me. She sent all the documents and meets all the requirements, but she mentioned her husband can't come because he lives abroad." Sang-yoon replies, "We'll have to postpone this. Tell her that having her husband present is mandatory." Later, that same person calls Mary and explains the situation. Mary says, "But you told me before that my husband didn't need to be there, just me." The man replies, "I don't know about that, but it's the company's rule. When the award ceremony happens, both you and your husband have to be there to receive it." Mary has no choice. She sends a voice message to Wooju, saying it's really important. She tells him she's won a lucky draw and explains everything. But Wooju is with his girlfriend at the time. They're in the shower together. When he sees the message, his girlfriend asks what it is. Wooju just says, "Nothing, it's spam," and deletes it without even listening. Mary has no idea what to do now. Then she gets a text from the main guy asking, "Did you go to the doctor?" She replies no. When she sees his name, Wooju, she suddenly gets an idea. She realizes she never told the department store who her husband was, so she could just take him along. In the next scene, she's talking with Wooju. He asks again, "Did you go to the doctor?" She says no, that she got busy and couldn't make it. Then she casually asks, "By the way, are you married?" Wooju says no. Mary looks relieved. She smiles and says, "I know it's only been a day since we met, and it might be too soon to ask this, but will you be my husband?" And that's where the episode ends. We'll meet again in episode 2. Until then, bye. At the start of episode 2, we see Wooju at his house, remembering a moment from his childhood. He's with his parents, and the three of them are going somewhere. Wooju is arguing with his father, who scolds him in return. Wooju snaps back saying, "It's not mine, it belongs to my teacher." But the show doesn't clearly reveal what the argument was actually about. Suddenly, their car crashes. In the present, Wooju wakes up, takes his medicine, and recalls that moment when someone had approached their car right after the accident. He remembers asking that person for help, but the man had refused. Meanwhile, we see Mary at her house, looking at a message from Wooju, asking if she had gone to see the doctor. She starts thinking about all the times Wooju had helped her. Talking to herself, she says, "He didn't seem like a weird person. Maybe I can ask him for help. It's just for one day anyway." After that, she calls him. Wooju notices her name saved in his phone under the contact name Cactus. In the next scene, the two meet face to face, the same scene we saw at the end of episode 1. Wooju first asks if she went to the hospital, but Mary says no, explaining that she was too busy. Then she suddenly asks, "Are you married?" When he says no, she sighs in relief and says, "Then will you be my husband?" Wooju is completely shocked and asks what she means. Mary quickly adds, "Not for real, you just have to act like my husband. Can you do that? You just need to play the role for a short while. My whole life depends on this. You have to come with me somewhere." When Wooju asks where, she says, "The department store." He frowns. "What are we going to do there? Shopping?" But she shakes her head, thinking to herself, "I can't tell him about the award." Wooju insists, "At least tell me why you want me to be your fake husband and why we need to go to the store. I can't help you unless I know something." But she doesn't explain anything, just says, "Please come at that time. I'll compensate you." Wooju smirks. "How much?" She gestures a small amount with her fingers. He teases, "What, 100 million?" She quickly denies it, saying, "That's way too much." Wooju laughs. "When you were drunk before, you asked me for that much. Is that your base rate?" Mary apologizes, saying she mistook him for someone else back then. Wooju wonders why she wants him to act as her fake husband. He imagines maybe she's cheating on someone, that he'd catch her kissing another guy, and he'd beat that guy up before taking the money for a settlement. But Mary tells him it's nothing like that. Wooju replies, "So it's not about the money?" She hesitates, then nods. "I knew it," he says. "It's always about money. You're a scammer. I'm not helping a scammer." Mary looks hurt and says, "Were you playing games with me this whole time? So you never intended to help me at all?" Wooju admits, "Nope, your little fraud plan will never work." Saying that, he walks away. She tries to stop him, but he doesn't listen. In the next scene, we see Myeon talking with Neon. Myeon's husband, Haku, who is the company's director, is also there. Neon is angry, asking why Myeon is removing her son, Young-soo, from the head of marketing. "You can't kick him out and replace him with Wooju," she says. Myeon calmly replies, "I'm not kicking him out, just demoting him. He's been working here for years, yet our sales keep dropping. That's why Wooju will handle it now." Neon keeps pleading, but Myeon doesn't budge. Neon accuses her, "You're only doing this because he's your grandson." But Myeon insists, "That's not true. You know very well your son had the first chance, he failed." Meanwhile, we see Young-soo relaxing, eating chocolate. His mother comes over, and he offers her some, but she scolds him. "How can you sit here enjoying yourself when this is happening to you? Wooju's taking your place." Young-soo shrugs and says, "Don't worry, Mom. I already have a plan. You'll see what I'm going to do." Just then, Haku walks in. Myeon turns to him angrily. "Why didn't you say anything? I've worked here for 30 years, but no one listens to me. I have no worth here." Haku replies coldly, "This is business, and everything Neon said was true. Come on, I'll take you to that nice restaurant we went to before." Hearing that, Myeon cheers up. That night, we see Jin Kyung getting ready to rest when Wooju calls her. Seeing his name makes her so excited that she accidentally bumps her head. On the call, Wooju tells her he's coming to meet her. In the next scene, they meet in person. Jin Kyung asks, "Will you start work tomorrow?" He nods. She explains that his grandmother couldn't come see him because she can't travel by plane. "But finally, you'll meet her," she says. "I can't always take care of her, you know. I'm not her real granddaughter." Wooju looks at her and says, "You like Young-soo, don't you?" She denies it. Then she asks, "By the way, what about that cactus lady? Is she okay?" At first, Wooju nods, but then he laughs. "No, I think she's not hurt in the butt, it's her head. Something's wrong up there. She asked me to be her husband." Jin Kyung chuckles. "So she likes you?" He quickly denies it. "No, she just wanted me to act like her husband for a day. I don't even know what she's up to, so I said no." Just then, they see a young girl running nearby with her mom chasing after her. The girl suddenly falls, and Wooju notices she's holding a small toy bear. That sight takes him back to a memory at a police station where a little girl once gave him a toy bear. He had comforted her and told her not to cry before she left. Back in the present, Wooju asks Jin Kyung, "Do all kids have these teddy bears?" She asks why he's curious, then remembers, "Wait, you took one like that with you to America. I remember now you told me a girl gave it to you. I used to tease you that she was your first crush." Wooju smiles faintly and says, "She wasn't my crush." Jin Kyung asks, "Where is she now?" Wooju replies, "I don't know. I don't even remember her name. She's probably living a happy life somewhere. Meanwhile, we see Mary at home being told to leave because the building is about to be renovated. She refuses at first, but is eventually forced out. Later, she sits alone on a playground swing when her mom calls. Her mom asks, "So, when are you getting married? You said the wedding was postponed, but your sister Sori is asking again. She wants to book her flight tickets." Mary nervously answers, "Woo-Ju's been really busy lately." Mary said, "I'll talk to him myself and let you know. By the way, how's everything with you?" Yongsoo replied, "Things are great in America. My restaurant is doing well, and my English has gotten much better. If you had told us your wedding date earlier, we would have started preparing too." But Woo-Ju said, "I can't tell you that right now. I don't even know myself. Actually, there's something I need to tell you." Yongsoo asked, "What is it?" Mary replied, "I can't say it over the phone." Yongsoo said, "Did you two have a fight? That happens. Just listen to him, okay? Whatever he wants, just give it to him. Sometimes losing is what actually makes you win." Mary wanted to tell her that they had broken up, but she couldn't bring herself to say it. Next, we see Woo-Ju arriving at the company. He first greets his uncle, Hanku. Hanku asked, "Is this your first time here for real?" Woo-Ju shook his head and said, "No, when the construction was happening here in my childhood, I visited once. You took good care of me back then." Hanku smiled and said, "Thanks for remembering. Come on, I'll introduce you to the employees." So, he brought Woo-Ju outside and introduced him to everyone. In the next scene, we see Hanku talking to his son in the elevator. "There's a meeting today. Are you ready?" he asked. His son nodded. In the meeting, they first discussed an influencer who had millions of followers and had promoted their product. Then they started talking about design packaging. Yongsoo interrupted and brought up copyright infringement concerns. One of the women said, "That's not going to happen." But Yongsoo recalled an incident from 6 months ago when something similar had occurred. He said, "The head is responsible for all this meeting Woo-Ju." Woo-Ju apologized, "I'm sorry, I'll look into it." His grandmother told him, "This is your first project, don't make any mistakes, be careful." Later, they found out which company was handling the design packaging. It was Mary's company. She was on the phone with them, asking for 10 times the original price. The woman said, "We'll think about it." Song-hee asked Mary, "Why are you asking for so much money?" Mary thought back to what had happened 2 hours ago. Yongsoo had called her with a disguised voice and told her, "Someone from that bakery company will contact you, but you must demand 10 times the original price." Song-hee said, "That call could have been fake. You can't trust a stranger." Mary replied, "That's why I want to test it. I'm asking for 10 times more to see what happens." Woo-Ju was also informed about this design company charging such a high price. He said, "All right, I'll talk to them. Set up a meeting with their CEO." Next, we see Sung-hyun rewatching his award video again and again. He yelled at his secretary, "Listen." Listen said, "I'll find a way to withdraw the prize." Sung-hyun shouted, "How's that possible? Get over here!" When Listen came closer, he kicked him and yelled, "That's not going to happen." Then he threw his shoes at him and ordered, "Clean these." Listen obeyed. Back in his office, he called Mr. Kwon and said, "No matter what, call Mary and tell her she must bring her husband to the award ceremony or she won't receive her prize." Listen then remembered what happened 3 months ago. Sung-hyun had received a message from the mayor asking for a townhouse for his nephew. Sung-hyun didn't know what to do if he agreed. His father would find out. Then Listen suggested, "You could host a wedding festival and give it to him as part of that. No one will ever know you planned it on purpose." Meanwhile, Mary and Song-hee were waiting for a response from Woo-Ju's company. They'd been waiting a long time, but no call came. Then Mr. Kwon sent a message to Mary. "You must bring your husband here, or you won't get the prize." Song-hee asked, "What does the message say?" Mary replied, "It's not from the company." Then Mary asked, "What does your brother do? I needed Kaeshan." Song-hee said, "I don't know. I haven't seen him in 2 months." Mary thought to herself, if I bring Song-hee's brother there and Woo-Ju also shows up, what will happen? I can't do that. Song-hee asked, "What's wrong?" Mary replied, "Nothing, I'm just going somewhere. If the company sends any message, let me know." In the next scene, we see Woo-Ju's family meeting his ex-girlfriend Mary's boyfriend. His older sister's name is Jinhwa, and his mother's name is Yoon-suk. Jinhwa said, "Where's Wooju? His phone's off." Yoonsuk replied, "He went to Hong Kong and turned it off." They started talking about how Wooju and Mary broke up. Jinhwa said, "But I liked Mary. The food her mom sent was the best." Yongsoo said, "I get what you mean, but you don't know Wooju's new girlfriend is rich. She's loaded." Then Wooju called them, saying, "Mary contacted me. She was asking about a rental house." Yongsuk yelled, "She was asking for money!" But Wooju denied it, saying, "I already blocked her number." Just then, there was a knock at the door. Jinhwa opened it, and it was Mary. They all sat down to talk. Mary said, "I've been trying to reach Wooju. Where is he? I need to talk to him about something important." His mother replied harshly, "Why would you contact him? Good thing you broke up. You don't deserve him. My son has degrees you dropped out of college." They kept throwing insults at her. Yoonsuk said, "I know why you're here. You came to ask for rent money, didn't you?" Mary said, "No, I didn't come for money. I came for something else. But now I see that won't happen. At least I figured out where your son got his arrogance from you." His mother got furious and was about to slap her, but Mary caught her hand and said, "I know what your husband did. He sexually assaulted a teacher. I can post that everywhere if I have to, so don't bother me again." Mary walked out, held herself together outside, and said, "It's fine. It's all over now." Then Song-hee called her and said, "That company contacted us. They want to meet you." In the next scene, Wooju was told that the CEO of the design company had arrived. As he was going to meet her, Yongsoo stopped him and asked, "Where are you going?" Wooju said, "I'm going to get the design contract signed." Yongsoo replied, "All right, if you get it signed, I'll acknowledge your talent. If not, you'll have to resign." Wooju said, "Fine, no matter what, I'll get it done." Then he left. Meanwhile, Mary was in the restroom, calming herself down before stepping out. But she says, "What is he doing here?" Then she looks again, but Wooju isn't there anymore. Mary thinks maybe she just imagined seeing him. Later, when she finally meets the client, she realizes the person she's supposed to meet is actually Wooju himself. Mary has to act like she's meeting him for the first time, because Wooju's employee is right there with him. Wooju says, "We already told you what we need. You can't charge this much money." Mary replies, "All right, I'll agree to your terms, but I have one condition." After that, she sends the assistant away and says to Wooju, "Be my husband." Wooju looks at her, surprised. "You're still stuck on that?" he says. "If I report you to the police, you'll be arrested. You're a scammer." Mary calmly answers, "You also need my help to get this contract signed. I need your help too. We're on the same page, so let's make a deal. You be my husband, and I'll sign the papers." Wooju refuses, saying, "That's never going to happen." Mary insists, "If you don't get this contract, you'll lose millions." She recalls overhearing a woman in the restroom talking about this same deal earlier. Wooju says, "I don't care. I'd rather lose the money than work with a scammer." Then he gets a message from Yongsoo. "Did you get the contract signed yet?" He remembers his grandmother's words. "This is your first project. Make sure you do it right." Mary shows him her bruises, saying, "You hit me with your car. That's how I ended up like this." Wooju denies it. In the end, Mary signs the contract. Wooju has no other choice but to agree. Later, both of them arrive at the department store. Mary says, "I already sent all the documents to you." Wooju replies, "I don't know anything. I'll just stand there and keep quiet." In the meeting, Mary explains why she's doing this. She says, "I used to live in a rental house, but I got scammed. I was promised a townhouse worth 5 million won as a prize, and to claim it, I need your help. I don't even have a place to live right now." In the elevator, Mary gives Wooju a ring and a pair of glasses. "Put these on," she says. "In the photo I sent, you were wearing glasses." Wooju reluctantly does it. He then asks, "What if your husband finds out about this?" Mary says, "Don't worry, he won't. He doesn't answer my calls anymore." Meanwhile, Lee Sun talks to Sang-hyun and tells him, Mary and her husband are coming to the ceremony. Get the press conference ready. Mr. Kwon greets them both. Mary says, "My husband just arrived in Korea, and I brought him straight here." Wooju says, "I'm a bit tired." Kwon replies, "No wonder you look different. You don't look like your picture." Then he says, "I'd like to see your real IDs." Mary shows hers, but Wooju says, "I left mine in the car." Kwon starts asking questions about their marriage, and Wooju answers every single one perfectly. Mary is stunned, thinking, when did he memorize all that? Is he a genius? Then Kwon mentions an article about them that's about to be published. Wooju quickly says, "That can't happen." Kwon asks, "Why not?" They panic until Wooju explains, "It's because of debt collectors. They might recognize us and come for the money." Kwon agrees to keep it discreet. Wooju adds, "Use our fake names." Kwon nods and says he'll think about it. Then Wooju pretends to get a phone call. "What? I might be sick. I'll come for a test right away," he says loudly. Kwon asks, "What's wrong?" Wooju explains, "Someone next to me on the plane was sick. I think I caught it." Kwon calls Lee Sun and tells him, who replies, "We can't cancel the award ceremony because of that. Just give him a mask." At the ceremony, Wooju and Mary come on stage wearing masks, posing for photos with Sang Hyun. Afterward, Lee Sun hands Mary a gift, the key to the townhouse. She's overjoyed. He asks, "Where's your husband?" "We're heading to the townhouse." Mary lies. "He went to the hospital for some tests." She remembers that earlier, when she was sitting alone, Wooju had messaged her saying, "I'm leaving." She'd replied, "Thank you." But as soon as she steps outside, she sees Wooju there. Lee Sun asks, "Why are you here? Didn't you leave?" Wooju replies, "I was just about to." Lee Sun says, "Which direction? Where's your hospital? I'll drop you off." Wooju has no choice but to say, "I just got my test results. They were negative." Lee Sun nods. "Good, then come with us. I'll show you the townhouse." Wooju is forced to go along. When they arrive, they look around the place. Meanwhile, Yongsoo and his mother are seen nearby, watching them. Mi-yeon says, "Wooju can't take your place. Keep an eye on that suspect." Inside, Lee Sun gives them a tour. Mary looks around the house, completely amazed. He asks, "So when will you two move in?" Mary answers, "We plan to sell it. It's too far from our office." Lee Sun says, "You can, but not yet. The rules say you can only sell after 3 months. Didn't you read that?" Mary checks the rule sheet. It's true. Lee Sun adds, "Usually a couple is assigned an observer, but in your case, I'll be your neighbor. I'll visit you both every day." Then he says, "Be downstairs in 20 minutes. We'll go hang out and I'll introduce you to people around here." After he leaves, Wooju turns to Mary. "What was that? Why did you agree to stay here for 3 months? I can't live here. And that guy said he'll visit every day." Mary says, "He was just joking." Wooju shakes his head. "I don't believe that. I can't do this anymore. I have my own life." Mary says, "Then tell me what to do. Is there any way out of this?" Wooju sighs. "I don't know." He takes off the ring and leaves. Outside, he calls her again. "I'm sorry for yelling earlier," he says. Just then, a car honks. He moves aside and freezes. It's his own family. Yongsoo gets out and asks, "What are you doing here?" Wooju says, "I just came to meet a friend." Meanwhile, Mary calls, asking, "Where did you go? Why aren't you answering?" She comes outside. Yongsoo asks, "Which friend?" Wooju replies, "Someone you don't know." As he tries to leave, Lee Sun suddenly shows up and says, "Are you ready?" Wooju nods awkwardly. Then Lee Sun asks, "Where's your wife?" Mi-yeon overhears and says, "Wife? Who's his wife?" Wooju looks up and sees Mary standing there. Mary also sees them all, and the episode ends right there. Episode 3 begins with Listen asking Wooju where his wife is. Wooju is getting a call from Mary, but he doesn't answer it. Just then, he spots Mary coming toward him. Mary also sees him. Wooju gestures for her to leave, but Mary assumes he's waving hello and waves back. When she notices the car, she realizes that Wooju was actually telling her to go away. She quietly walks off but accidentally drops her phone. Now, Mary hides nearby. Listen says he saw someone there, but Wooju brushes it off and suggests they go hang out instead, leading him away. Meanwhile, Mi-yeon finds something in the car and tells her son that Wooju probably hasn't noticed it yet. Yongsoo replies that it doesn't matter since the chairwoman will tell him anyway. Mi-yeon insists that Wooju must not find out what they're doing. Mary's phone is still ringing. Her mom is calling, but she can't reach it. As she moves toward the road, she sees a car speeding her way and quickly hides. Mi-yeon hears the phone ringing and asks her son if it's his, but he denies it. They find the phone on the road and Mi-yeon steps out to check, but the call ends. She looks around and suddenly spots a dog shelter nearby. As she approaches, Mary, with her hair covering her face, comes out looking like a zombie. The two get terrified. Mary says, "That's my phone," grabs it, and walks away. Mi-yeon wonders what's wrong with her, and Yongsoo comments that everyone around here seems mentally unstable. Then a dog starts barking at them, and they both run off. That night, Wooju calls Mary and tells her he already told Listen she wasn't home. He asks where she had disappeared to. Mary remembers the shelter scene, smiles slightly, and says she just went somewhere. She then asks who those people were and if he knew them. Wooju replies that they were his family. Mary sighs, saying that's unfortunate. Wooju warns her that staying there could be dangerous, but she didn't listen. Mary insists she won't stay there anymore. Wooju says he doesn't care and tells her not to call him again before hanging up. Mary mutters to herself that he's selfish and not kind, yet he's still her savior. He saved her life, and now she owes him. The next scene shifts to Pil Leon, who's having a checkup with Dr. Jin Kyung and her father, Yoon. Pil Leon has been feeling dizzy and struggling to breathe. Jin Kyung explains it's due to high blood pressure and advises her to avoid stress and overwork. Pil Leon teases her, saying that as a kid she used to annoy her, and now she's doing it again as a doctor. Then, she brings up the topic of marriage and asks if there's someone she likes. Yoon chimes in, saying that person is his grandson. Pil Leon smiles and asks if she really likes him, and Jin Kyung admits she does. Pil Leon laughs and says she'd love for her to be part of their family. She asks if Jin Kyung has confessed her feelings, but she shyly says not yet, and that she'll try. Meanwhile, Wooju arrives at the company. His employee, Sejong, spots him and brings him lunch. She clearly likes him and suggests they have dinner together next time. Her treat. Wooju agrees. Suddenly, Pyeon-sung, another man, notices Wooju and tries to hide, but Wooju calls out and says he needs to talk. They step outside, and Wooju brings up the contract. Young-soo compliments him and asks how he managed to convince Mary to sign it. He suspects they must have known each other before and asks for a tip. Wooju simply replies that he can't say anything and tells him to ask her directly. In the next scene, Henku is seen meeting with a company employee who informs him that their company has been collaborating with another firm, but it turns out that firm is being run by someone suspicious. Anggu asks if he's told anyone else, and the man says no. Anggu warns him to keep quiet and assures him he'll handle it. Later, Mary is looking for a place to stay. She contacts a realtor, but the rent is too expensive. She then calls her friend Gyeong, hoping to stay with her, but learns she's gone to the army and doesn't live there anymore. Gyeong offers to help if it's urgent, but Mary declines. As she walks, she notices two boys putting up a poster for a hotel. She approaches and decides to check it out. That night, she visits the hotel, speaks to the owner, pays, and goes up to her room. She spots a drunk man who stares at her for a moment before leaving. Nervously, she locks herself inside her room. The next morning, she's sleeping peacefully when her alarm goes off. It's already 9 a.m. She rushes to get ready and heads to a hospital to show her design samples to a doctor. As she leaves, she runs into Jin Kyung, who recognizes her. Jin Kyung says, "You're the same girl I helped before." They sit down to talk, and Jin Kyung asks what happened that day. Mary explains that she had a small accident and told Wooju she was fine, but he didn't believe her and insisted on bringing her to the hospital. He even paid the bill and dropped her home. Jin Kyung laughs, saying that Wooju always helps people, but he told her that Mary said some strange things, like asking him to be her husband. Mary gets flustered, wondering if he told her everything, and nervously says she was just joking. Jin Kyung smiles and says, "No need to be embarrassed. He tells me everything. We're very close." Mary cautiously asks if he said anything else, but Jin Kyung just laughs and doesn't answer. Later, Mary visits the bakery company where Wooju and his employees are working. She presents her packaging design proposal for sales, and everyone loves it. Wooju praises his employee for doing great work and invites her to join them for dinner. Mary reluctantly agrees. At the restaurant, everyone enjoys their meal. Sejong asks Wooju if he has a girlfriend, and he says no. Then she asks if he plans to get married, and he replies that it's not really necessary. The employees start joking about relationships, saying you should get an apartment before getting married. But one guy admits he can't afford it. Then another employee mentions that the department store is holding a prize giveaway. Everyone talking about a lucky draw. One of the employees says, "You should have joined it, Wooju. You could have won a town worth 5 million won." They mention that the winner has already been announced and decide to check who it is. Wooju and Mary exchange glances, a little nervous. They try to act normal as the man nearby checks the results. Wooju quickly lifts the menu to hide his face and tells Mary to pick something from it. Both of them secretly try to grab each other's phone to avoid being caught. The man reads the name of the winner, but it turns out to be fake. Still, he says the faces look familiar. Before he can say anything else, Wooju stuffs food into his mouth to distract him. Mary, a bit drunk, excuses herself and goes to the bathroom. One of the employees joins her and compliments her, saying she did great work and that her dress looks amazing. The employee then asks if she can handle the payment for dinner, and Mary nods. When she steps out, she hands over a few cards, but none of them have enough balance. Just then, Wooju comes over and pays the bill himself. Mary asks why he did that, and Wooju calmly says it's his responsibility since it's their work dinner. Later outside, Wooju talks to Mary and offers to drive her home. Mary agrees, but as she's about to leave, Wooju grabs her hand and says, "You're drunk. Let me drop you off safely." Mary hesitates but agrees, and they leave together in his car. One of the employees comments, "She shouldn't have gone with him. I was just about to collect money for the karaoke." In the car, Mary starts mumbling about what Jin Kyung asked her earlier. Wooju asks what she means, but she doesn't respond and starts to doze off. Wooju tries to wake her up and asks for her address, but she's already asleep. So he drives her back to her hotel. When they reach the 5th floor, Wooju helps her to her room and says, "You can open your door now. I'll leave." But then they realize Mary doesn't have her key. She must have left it at the restaurant. Wooju sighs and says, "We're already on the 5th floor. I'll go back down and get it." Mary offers to go with him, but he tells her to stay put. She falls asleep on the floor while waiting. A moment later, the hotel owner arrives, unlocks the door with his master key, and tells Wooju to bring the key later. Wooju carries Mary inside and lays her on the bed. As he looks around, he notices in the mirror that the owner is staring at Mary's feet. Wooju turns and says coldly, "Are you done? You can leave now." The owner nods and walks out. As Wooju heads out too, he notices the owner watching him and awkwardly waving goodbye. Wooju gets to his car, but suddenly remembers that Mary's wallet is still in the room. He calls her, and she picks up, but something feels off. Worried, he rushes back to the hotel. The owner is missing from the reception desk. Wooju sprints to the room and finds the door already open. Inside, the owner is sitting near Mary's feet. Without hesitation, Wooju punches him in the face. Mary wakes up startled and yells, "Why did you hit him? I just ordered noodles." "He spilled them on my feet, so he came with a first aid kit." Feeling embarrassed, Wooju apologizes. He asks, "You already had dinner at the restaurant, so why were you eating noodles again?" Mary replies, "I didn't really eat there. I thought I had to pay, so I barely touched my food. I was starving." Wooju tells her to stay at the hotel, but Mary says she doesn't have money. "Once I sell that town, I'll finally have cash," she explains. Her heels have hurt her feet, so Wooju kneels and gently applies ointment. Then he asks where she'll sleep tonight and if she has any relatives nearby. Mary shakes her head and says she'll just stay in her office. Wooju thinks for a moment, grabs her bag and says, "Come on, let's go." He takes her to the shelter town. They sneak upstairs quietly. Wooju hands her things over and tells her, "Listen, can't find out you're staying here." Mary agrees and promises to keep the lights off. Then she goes inside. Meanwhile, we see the same employee who had earlier discussed company corruption. Han-gu meets him and asks if he's heading home. The man says yes. Han-gu praises him, saying the chairwoman rewarded him well, but he already has plenty. He hands the man a small bottle and tells him to take it. Han-gu then gets into his car, drinks it, and drives off. But soon he starts feeling dizzy and sleepy. He loses control of the car, crashes, and dies instantly. The next morning, Mary wakes up and steps outside for some air. She spots Listen nearby and quickly hides. Listen, in another scene, talks with Sang-yeon and hands him a script related to public relations. He instructs Sang-yeon to visit Mary's house for PR purposes and keep an eye on them. Sang-yeon agrees, but warns Listen not to mess things up again. Later, Listen visits Mary and tells her the CEO will be visiting next week. Mary says she'll discuss it with her husband. Han-gu reports the employee's death to Pil-leon, who insists she should attend the funeral since the man worked for them for years. But she's not feeling well, so Han-gu tells her to rest and says he'll go instead. At the funeral, Han-gu meets the employee's family. Elsewhere, Listen is participating in a running event with several others, including Jin Kyung. He remembers Sang-yeon's warning that if he makes another mistake, everything given to him will be taken back. Furious and stressed, Listen starts running faster, overtaking everyone. Jin Kyung notices his frustration. That night, Mary tries to sleep, but a mosquito keeps bothering her. She gets up, clapping her hands to kill it. In the process, she accidentally turns on the lights. Outside, Listen arrives in his car and notices the lights in her house flicker. At first, they were off, but now they're blinking. Mary tries to turn them off, but they won't respond. The doorbell rings and she checks the intercom. It's Listen. She opens the door and he says he came to drop off a parking permit form so she can register her car. Mary thanks him and mentions that her lights aren't turning off. Listen walks inside, checks a few rooms, and explains that she probably activated the audio sensor mode. After fixing it, he casually asks, "Where's your husband? I don't see any of his shoes or clothes around." Mary quickly replies that he works late in some regular company and that they haven't unpacked his things yet. Listen seems convinced and leaves. Later, Mary calls Woo-ju and tells him everything, including the part about the CEO's visit. Woo-ju scolds her, yelling, "Why did you clap? You could have just let the mosquito bite you." Mary sighs and says, "Listen is starting to get suspicious of us." Woo-ju calms down and asks when the CEO will be visiting. Mary asks, "Will you come that day?" The next scene shows both of them at a photo studio, dressed for their wedding photos. Woo-ju looks handsome in his suit, and then Mary walks in wearing a wedding dress. He can't take his eyes off her. Since Chung-yoon will be visiting their home, they need these photos as proof of marriage. Mary adjusts her dress and complains that it feels too tight and hard to breathe. Woo-ju stands up, loosens the zipper a little, and asks if she's okay. She nods. Woo-ju tells her, "I know this feels awkward for both of us, but we have to do it so no one suspects anything." Mary smiles softly and says, "All right, then I'll do it." She gently places her hand on his. Inside, she thinks to herself, "Why am I reacting like this? It's not even a real wedding." They pose for photos together. Outside, Sejong, Woo-ju's employee, walks in with her friends and starts taking photos too. Woo-ju finishes and heads out, but just as he steps outside, he spots Sejong coming toward him. He quickly hides back inside. Mary, unaware, is also walking out, but Woo-ju pulls her back inside. Mary asks what's going on, and he explains, "My employee is here." Sejong walks closer to the room. Woo-ju looks at Mary, takes a breath, and says, "I'm sorry for this." Then he suddenly kisses her. A moment later, Sejong opens the door, saying, "Woo-ju, are you here?" Mary sees her, grabs Woo-ju, and kisses him again. See. And with that, the episode ends. At the beginning of episode 4, the two of them were kissing. Sejong walks in and asks, "Woo-ju, are you here?" But when she sees them kissing, she quickly says sorry and leaves. Her friend asks if her team leader is inside. Sejong says she's not sure, but judging by his back, it seems like he is. Her friend suggests they should go check, but Sejong stops her saying, "Forget it, they're kissing." Then she walks away. Mary tells Woo-ju that she's probably gone. Woo-ju agrees. Mary notices something and says, "You've got lipstick on your lips." He tries to wipe it off but can't, so she helps him, gently touching his lips. Later, they both step outside to look for Sejong, but she's already gone. Then we see them back in town, getting ready to hang their wedding photo. But they don't have a hammer. They go to Listen for help, and he brings one for them. Woo-ju asks, "Weren't you on a business trip? How was it?" Listen says it went well, then adds, "It's the weekend. You should be home resting." Woo-ju replies, "I'm too busy. I try to rest, but that's impossible." Listen then says he's heading out to hang out and asks if they want to come along. Woo-ju and Mary tell him they already have plans. The two leave together, walking close to each other, sometimes brushing shoulders, while Listen just watches them until they disappear inside. Next, Woo-ju is at work. Sejong passes by, staring at him. Won-suk asks why she's looking at him like that. Sejong says she saw him at the photo studio yesterday, but Monsu insists it must have been someone else. During their meeting later, Sejong is still talking about Woo-ju. Suni comes over and asks what they're discussing. Sejong explains what she saw, but Suni says that can't be right. She doesn't believe Woo-ju has a girlfriend. "Didn't you see his face?" she asks. Sejong says, "He was kissing someone." Suni asks who the girl was, but Sejong admits she doesn't know. Then, while they're talking about the kiss, Sejong looks at Mary and says, "She looked a lot like you." Mary freezes and says nothing. Sejong tells her, You could just call the photo studio and ask who came in yesterday. Mary says, you didn't even think of that. Sejong then starts to make the call. Wooju walks in for the meeting just as she's on the phone. Afterward, Wooju tells Mary that he had already made the photo studio reservation under a different name. Mary thanks him, saying she was so nervous inside, she was sweating. Wooju asks if Listen tried to contact her again, but she says no. Mary adds, when we took those wedding photos, that kiss just kinda happened. Don't take it seriously. Wooju laughs. I'm not the one taking it seriously, you are. You practically jumped on me like a bull. Mary blushes and says, Sejong showed up. If I hadn't kissed you, she would have seen us. By the way, was that your first kiss? Wooju says, I was just trying to avoid Sejong. Then he hands her the clothes she left behind. She thanks him, and he says, if you're grateful, you owe me. My grandma loved your designs. She wants you to make a presentation. Later, Mary talks to Songyi about the upcoming presentation. Songyi tells her who Pin Lion is and praises her in several ways. Mary gets excited and says she's looking forward to meeting her and working together. Meanwhile, Pin Lian is speaking with Hongku. She asks if he went to the funeral, and he nods. He says something's been bothering him. He suspects that their employee, Mr. Ko, was embezzling money. They recently found out he was gambling, and then the next day he had an accident. Pin Lion is shocked, saying, that can't be. He was so loyal. Hongku says he knows it's hard to believe, but it's the truth. If the media finds out about the embezzlement, it could ruin their company's image. Pin Lion asks what they should do. Hongku advises that they should stay quiet. At dinner, Pin Lion tells Young-soo that he'll be taking over Mr. Ko's position. She also says they should do something for his family. Mian interrupts, saying, his wife never even came to see us. Why should we do anything? She adds that Mr. Ko was the only one in the car. If his family had been with him, they all would have died. Everyone turns to look at Wooju, since the same thing happened to his family. Hongku signals Mian to stop talking, but she keeps going, saying, come on, everyone knows his story. Wooju calmly says, it's fine, I'm okay, and leaves the room. Afterward, Pin Lion scolds Mian for her insensitive comments. Mian snaps back, why do you always scold me? He said he's fine. But Young-soo quietly says, he's not fine. I know him. He's fragile. He gets scared easily. When we were kids, I took one of his toys. He always carried that toy with him. It was his comfort toy. We then see Wooju in his room, staring at that same toy. He flashes back to the past, to the car crash. He had crawled out of the wreck, screaming for help. A car stopped nearby, with a little girl and her father inside. Later, at the police station, Wooju sits silently while the taxi driver and the little girl give their statements. The girl walks up to him, hands him her toy, and says, my dad gave this to me for my birthday. You can have it. There's a button on it. When she presses it, it plays comforting words. Then Pin Leon and Hongku arrive. Wooju runs to his grandmother, crying. When he looks back for the girl, she's gone. But the toy remains. He takes the toy and sits in the car, then spots the same girl crying nearby. She asks her father, did that boy's parents die? That can't be true. Who's gonna take care of him now? Wooju overhears everything. Then we cut to Mary at home, replaying the kiss scene in her head. She mumbles, did I use my tongue? She keeps replaying the moment, then hits herself, saying, what am I doing? Am I getting too deep into character? I shouldn't be acting like this. It wasn't even real. Next, we see Jin Kyung at the hospital, looking for a spot to confess her feelings. Once she finds it, she calls Wooju and asks, are you free today? Let's go out together. Wooju asks, why are you taking me out? Don't you have friends? Jin Kyung replies, that's not it at all. I thought you might be getting bored, so I wanted to take you out. Wooju says, all right, I already have plans today, but I'll meet you in the evening. Jin Kyung gets really happy. The nurse looks at her and asks if she's going on a date, but Jin Kyung doesn't say anything. She starts looking through a file and says that their VIP patient is Sung Yeon. She also adds that they visited him and thinks nothing is wrong with him. He's just pretending to stay in the hospital. Just then, Listen walks by, and the nurse immediately goes quiet. After he leaves, the nurse tells Jin Kyung that Listen works for Sung Yeon, and no matter if it's day or night, he has to come here. She says she feels bad for him. In the next scene, Mary and Woo-ju are together, preparing to meet Sung-yeon today. They match their shoes, their clothes, and get everything ready. Mary asks him questions about their wedding, and Woo-ju answers. Then she asks when their honeymoon was, but he can't answer. Mary says, "We never even went on a honeymoon. So if they ask, just say we plan to go to London." Woo-ju jokes that her ex must be pretty cool to let her go on a honeymoon trip with another man. Mary replies that she did so much for him, she bought insurance for him, helped with the apartment money. Woo-ju asks if he ever thanked her, but she says no. Woo-ju then asks how they met. Mary starts recalling the past and says that during a vacation, she almost drowned, but he saved her. She thought that was love, and they'd get married, but she was wrong. Woo-ju asks if she regrets it. She admits she does and says maybe the problem was her. Maybe she needs to change herself. Woo-ju says, "You don't need to change the right person. We'll love you just the way you are, someone who won't take your love lightly." Mary thanks him for saying that. Inside, Mary's phone starts ringing. It's her mom, but she doesn't notice. Meanwhile, Suk-ja tells Young-suk, "Why are you preparing food?" Young-suk says she's going to meet Mary's in-laws. Suk-ja tells her that Woo-ju never comes to visit, that he looks down on her. But Young-suk insists that's not true. He's just busy. She says she'll call him right now. At that time, Woo-ju is in a hotel, checking his stock investments, which have dropped. He gets a call from Mary's mom, but ignores it and cuts the call. Then he sees a message on his girlfriend Jenny's phone. It's from a guy named C, asking her to come to a room. Jenny comes out of the shower and tells him to go shower next. Woo-ju kisses her and heads into the bathroom. The next scene shows Listen arriving at the police station. He calls Mary and tells her that Mr. Sung won't be able to meet them today, so let's cancel. Mary says it's fine. Then Listen goes inside and meets a man showing him a video of Sung-yeon hitting him. The man asks who Listen is, and Listen says he represents Mr. Sung. Afterward, Listen meets the victim outside and asks him to tell the police that he hit Sung-yeon first. The man refuses, saying they have the footage. Listen says the footage can be erased. The man still refuses. So, Listen offers him money. The man is shocked at the amount and finally agrees. Mary later tells Woo-ju that Sung-yeon won't be coming. Woo-ju says, "Okay, I'll come another day," and starts to leave. But then he notices some paintings, cartoon-style ones. He asks what they are. Mary says she wants to include them in her presentation and asks if he wants to know more. Woo-ju says, "Sure, tell me." Meanwhile, Listen is with Sung-yeon at the hospital, explaining what he did with the victim. Sung-yeon asks why he paid so much money. Listen replies that the man had footage. Sung-yeon then asks about his father. Does he know what happened? Listen says his father also believes Sung-yeon is the victim. Sung-yeon nods and asks him to bring food. As Listen leaves, Jin-kyung overhears everything. Then we see Mary showing her presentation. She says she created this cartoon inspired by her first love. Woo-ju laughs and says it looks silly, but Mary insists it's not, that he was handsome. Woo-ju asks if she's still in touch with her first love, and she denies it. Then she asks him about his first love. Woo-ju says he's never experienced one. Mary playfully hits him with a pillow and says, "Don't lie." Woo-ju just looks at her. Mary apologizes, but Woo-ju says it's okay. Just then, Jin-kyung calls him. Woo-ju says he totally forgot they were supposed to meet today. Jin-kyung says it's fine. They can meet another time. Later, Jin-kyung goes to a bar, starts drinking, and Listen joins her, silently drinking too. She keeps looking at him, then starts a conversation, saying she knows who he is, that he works for the VIP patient in their hospital. She adds that there are lots of rumors about him, that he's a terrible person. But even so, she says she respects Listen. Listen looks at her and asks who she is. Jin-kyung says she's seen him at the hospital. She's a doctor. Listen then says, "Whoever is spreading those rumors should be fired or paid off." Jin-kyung says, "Let it be. I was just trying to comfort you." Listen replies, "That's not comfort, that's arrogance." She apologizes, then adds that money can't solve everything, and that he must be upset. That's why he's here, just like her. He looks at her quietly. She asks what he's looking at, then says, "Do you think I'm upset because someone dumped me?" That's not it. Listen doesn't reply, just pours her another drink. Jin-kyung asks if he's trying to flirt, but he denies it and says, "I just want you to drink this and go home soon." Meanwhile, Young-suk has arrived in Seoul. The next scene shows Woo-ju giving his presentation, with Mary there too. Suddenly, Mary gets a message from her mom, saying she's in Seoul and heading to Wooju's family home. Mary runs out in panic. Wooju notices and follows her. Mary tries calling her mom, but she doesn't pick up. Wooju asks what's wrong, and Mary says her mom is going to meet his family. Wooju says, "Your mom probably doesn't know you two broke up." Just then, Sejong comes out and tells Mary her turn for the presentation has come. Wooju tells her to send him her ex's address. He'll try to stop her mom. Mary sends it, and meanwhile, Young-suk has already arrived there. She talks to both of them, and they tell her that Wooju and her daughter have already broken up. One of them scoffs and says, "Did you really think your daughter could become the daughter-in-law of our family? She doesn't know anything. She doesn't even have a degree." They start saying all kinds of harsh things to her. Young-suk tries to defend herself, but accidentally slips and falls to the ground. Both women panic and rush inside for help. At that very moment, Wooju arrives and sees her on the floor. He quickly runs over and helps her up. Then he gently asks, "You're Mary's mother, right?" She nods her head yes. In the next scene, both of them are in the car. Young-suk asks him, "Does your company work with my daughter?" Wooju smiles and replies, "Yes, we do. And by the way, could you please speak casually with me? After all, she's my boss at her own company." Young-suk laughs nervously and says, "You must have heard what those people said back there, but it's not true. My daughter is a really good person." Wooju nods and says, "I know, everyone likes her." Then Young-suk begins talking about her daughter's childhood, how much she suffered after her father passed away, and how strong she has been since. Meanwhile, Mary finishes her presentation and calls her mom. She asks if everything's okay. Young-suk replies, "I couldn't meet them. I'm with Wooju right now, but I'm heading back to my hometown. Don't worry about me." After hanging up, she tells Wooju not to tell Mary that they met. She doesn't want to make her daughter anxious. "She didn't tell me about the breakup herself," she adds, "so she must have had her reasons." Wooju nods and promises not to say anything. Later, he calls Mary and says, "Your mom's gone back home. She gave me some food for you. I'm coming over, so stay home." Mary agrees, though she's already in a taxi when Jinwoo calls her. What they talk about will be revealed later. At home, she's visibly upset. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door. It's Wooju. He hands her the food and notices her troubled expression. "What's wrong?" he asks. At first, she doesn't respond, but then she confesses, "I found out that my mom met them." We flash back to Jinwoo's call earlier, where she shouted at Wooju, "Your mother came here, didn't she? You didn't even tell her about us. Because of her, my mom was completely heartbroken." Mary tells Wooju, "I should have told my mom earlier, but I couldn't. Now she'll never be proud of me." Wooju calmly replies, "Why do you need her to be proud? You're her daughter, that's enough. You don't have to prove anything. And I'm sure your mom is ready to hear your story when you're ready to tell it." Later, Mary calls her mom and starts to bring up Wooju, but Young-suk cuts her off, saying, "Don't. I already know what kind of person he is. You did the right thing by leaving him. Just live happily in your apartment." Mary hesitates before saying, "I don't live there anymore. I moved into a townhouse. I even won an award." She explains how it happened, but Young-suk only says, "That's good, but don't get caught." Mary is shocked to hear her mom talk like that. Then we see Young-suk looking at a photo. She tears Wooju's picture in half and starts dancing in happiness over her daughter's award. Meanwhile, Wooju is with Jenny. She tells him she's going to meet a friend later. Wooju curiously asks, "Who?" Jenny just smiles and says, "I'll introduce you someday. I've got to go now." In the elevator, she kisses him goodbye and leaves. Wooju feels uneasy and decides to follow her. He watches as she heads into a hotel, trying to figure out which room she's going to. Then he remembers the text he saw earlier on her phone, the same name and the same room number. He quietly takes the stairs up to that room. When he looks inside, he sees Jenny kissing another man. His heart sinks. He realizes she's been cheating on him. At the same time, Mary is at home eating the food her mom sent. Her mom calls and says, "I lost my purse somewhere. I think it might be in Wooju's car. Can you ask him?" Mary agrees and calls Wooju. He checks the car, finds the purse, but when he opens it, he notices a photograph. It's the same little girl who once gave him a toy. Then it hits him. He remembers the moment he brought Mary to the hotel and saw that same photo before. That's when he realized Mary was the very girl he'd been searching for all these years, the girl from his past, right there in front of him all along. We see flashes of the moments between them, the wedding photos, his growing closeness to her, and the way he deliberately stayed near her because now he knew she was his first love. He remembers his school days, how he once got scared when a car approached him, and how he later fell into depression, the only comfort being that little toy he always carried. Now, everything makes sense to him. Every time he helped Mary, every time he listened to her, it was all because deep down, he wanted to repay the kindness she once showed him. In the final moments, we see another Wooju, who's now back in Korea. Mary is busy working at home when her phone rings. She thinks it's the colleague she's been collaborating with and says, "Did you find the purse?" But the voice on the other end says, "It's me, I'm back." And with that, the episode ends. We'll see what happens next in episode 5. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Episode 5 begins with Mary at her house when suddenly her phone rings. She assumes it's Wooju calling, but it turns out to be her ex-husband, Wooju. He says, "I've arrived in Korea." Mary immediately hangs up. Wooju tries to call again, but she doesn't pick up. He mutters to himself, "She must be feeling proud. I'll have to work hard to win her back." Mary, on the other hand, wonders, why is Wooju calling me? How did he even find out that I won the town prize? Just thinking about it makes me nervous. Right then, her current husband, also named Wooju, calls her. She answers. He tells her, "I found your mom's bracelet. Should I come and drop it off?" Mary replies, "No, it's fine. I'll come to your office tomorrow and pick it up." She then thinks to herself, should I tell him that Wooju is back in Korea? Maybe I shouldn't. He's already done so much for me. Later, Wooju arrives home and finds Pilyuen in the garden. She asks where he went. Wooju casually replies, "Just went out to hang around a bit. Anyway, what about you? Couldn't sleep?" She agrees. Wooju smiles and says, "You shouldn't take so much work stress. Uncle and I can handle the company. You should rest more, maybe even go on a date." She laughs and says, "What are you talking about? I'm too old for dates. But listen, keep doing your job properly. And you should think about getting married." The next morning, Mary heads to work and spots Listen arriving in his car. She tries to hide, but he notices her. He asks, "Where's your husband? I didn't see his car parked here." Mary answers, "He's been working overnight, so he couldn't make it." Listen nods. "All right then, want a ride?" Mary politely refuses. Later, Listen visits Pilyuen with Hanguk. They talk about business. Hanguk says, "I know Mr. Sung, we went to school together and used to play golf." He adds, "From our marketing team, we have Wooju here. You should meet him." Wooju hears that someone from the beauty department store has arrived and is invited to join the meeting. Curious, he asks the secretary who it is. "It's Listen," she says. Wooju freezes. He quickly excuses himself, pretending he needs to use the restroom. Inside, he mutters nervously, "What should I do now?" He stays there for a while until his secretary calls, asking where he is. Wooju fakes a reason. "I've got constipation. I can't come." He tries to sneak out, but Hanguk and Listen walk in. With no choice left, Wooju greets Listen and introduces himself as the marketing team leader. Listen pretends not to know him. Inside the elevator, Listen asks, "So, you work here?" Wooju nods. "Can you do me a favor?" he asks. Listen smirks. "I already know what that is. You want me to keep your marriage a secret." He continues, "You don't really look like someone who worked all night." Wooju is left speechless. As the elevator doors open, Mary is standing there. She spots both of them. Listen asks her, "What are you doing here?" Wooju quickly interrupts. "She came to get her wallet. We accidentally exchanged them this morning." Listen frowns. "But you weren't here this morning." Mary, realizing he's messing up, pinches Wooju and says, "You're under too much work pressure. You forgot it was yesterday, not today." Wooju nods awkwardly. "Right, I forgot." After Listen leaves, Mary asks Wooju what's going on. He explains he's here for work. "By the way," he adds, "what was that about today and yesterday?" Mary sighs. "Listen saw me this morning, and I told him you'd been working all night." Wooju replies, "You should have told me earlier. I could have planned for it. From now on, you have to call me 2 or 3 times a day." Mary asks, "Are you really that interested?" Wooju responds, "What are you saying? I just want to minimize the risk." Later that evening, Wooju has dinner with his family. Jenny asks him for some money to open an ice cream shop. Yoon-soo asks, "Did you meet Jenny's parents? Did you talk about marriage?" Wooju doesn't respond. He just gets up angrily and walks out. Sitting outside, he recalls a painful memory. Jenny had once told him she loved someone else who lived in that same room number, that their parents had already arranged their marriage. Woo-ju had yelled, "What nonsense are you talking about? Are you cheating on me?" Jenny smiled. "Are you jealous?" He replied, "You can't have two husbands. It's either him or me. Choose one." Jenny looked straight at him and said, "Then I choose him." Woo-ju then remembers his moments with Mary, how she once lay in his arms. He'd asked, "Why do you like me?" She had smiled and said, "Because you're handsome." He stares at their old photos and whispers, "Mary, forgive me. I shouldn't have done that." The next day, Mary meets with her boss, who's showing her a new design when she gets a call from Gonghwa. "I'm here in town. I want to see you," she says. They meet at a restaurant. As they sit, the owner comes by and says someone wants to join them. It turns out to be Woo-ju. Mary is shocked. "How did you know about this place?" Woo-ju smiles. "It's a famous spot. I come here often." Gonghwa, seeing him, instantly falls for him, calling him her first love type. She starts describing the kind of man she likes. Everything she lists perfectly matches Woo-ju. Then she asks Mary about her first love. Woo-ju teasingly says, "Do you still miss him?" Mary answers, "I don't know. We only met for a short time, but I loved the back of his head. He must be even more handsome now. He was totally my type. If I saw him again, I'd recognize him instantly." Woo-ju hides his joy, smiling quietly. Outside, Gonghwa gives gifts to both of them. Woo-ju looks at them and asks, "Who's the cactus for?" She says, "That one's for Mary." Woo-ju hands it to her and jokes, "Don't sit on it." Mary blushes, remembering the night she accidentally did. Later, Woo-ju says goodbye, heads home, and looks at their wedding photo, smiling to himself. The scene shifts to Jin-young with Sung-hyun. He's pretending to be in pain. Jin-young says, "I know you're faking it. You're perfectly fine. You'll be discharged within a week." She gets up to leave. Listen tries to convince her to stay, but she refuses. Sung-hyun tells him, "Let it go." She's the director's daughter, stubborn as ever. Jin-young's colleague asks her, "Can you cover my night shift tonight? I've got something important." But Jin-young declines. "Sorry, I can't. I already have plans." Then we finally see what those plans are. Woo-ju waiting for her at a bar. The episode continues with Woo-ju noticing Jin-young and asking why she's dressed like that. "Are you here for a blind date or something?" He jokes, but she replies that she just felt like wearing it and asks what he's doing there. Woo-ju explains, "I didn't make the reservation, my grandmother did." Then he teases her about something from their childhood, reminding her how much she used to love someone. Jin-young quickly says, "He was a cheater. You know I broke up with him later." She takes a deep breath and says she wants to tell him something. She's about to confess her feelings when a singer nearby starts performing, and everyone claps. Woo-ju looks toward the stage, then turns back to her. "So, what were you about to say? Were you going to tell me?" He pauses before asking, "Did you see the back of my head before? Do you think it's handsome? Someone once told me they remember my head from behind and still haven't forgotten it." She looks surprised. "Who is she? Is she your first love?" Woo-ju smiles faintly and nods. "How did you know?" "To be honest, I met the girl who once gave me that toy. She's my first love." Jin-young quietly asks, "Who is she?" Woo-ju answers, "She's the cactus girl you treated once." Jin-young asks, "Does she know about this?" He shakes his head. "No, only I know. Should I tell her?" But Jin-young immediately says no. "Don't tell her? If you do, she'll think her father's death was because of you." Meanwhile, Sung-hyun is reading magazine featuring Listen on the cover. He gets angry, throws some money on the table, and says, "We went to school together. Back then, when some boys were bullying me, you protected me. But that doesn't mean you're my equal. You'll always be my dog." We see Jin-young sitting at a piano, trying to play, but lost in thought. She remembers telling Woo-ju not to tell Mary the truth, and questions herself. Why did I say that? Maybe I was scared that Mary's reaction would hurt him. Then she plays softly, recalling a memory of a little boy playing beside her. Next, Listen enters the scene and notices Jin-young there. The story then shifts to Woo-ju's grandfather's memorial service, where everyone has gathered. Mi-young is talking with her son Young-soo, criticizing Woo-ju. But Young-soo reminds her, "Today's his birthday. Did you forget?" Mi-young replies coldly, "How could I forget? On his birthday, my brother died because of him." Behind them, Woo-ju overhears everything. Later, Woo-ju is driving home with his grandmother. She seems deep in thought about her late husband. The scene flashes back to a funeral years ago. Woo-ju was crying, and Pil-yoon told him, "Say whatever you need to say to your parents. This is your last chance." Woo-ju tearfully said, "They died. Because of me." Then the flashback reveals what happened. On his birthday, he asked his father why he gave his toy to Young-soo. As his father turned around to answer, a truck suddenly appeared and the accident happened. Mi-young receives a call from Pil-yoon's secretary saying Pil-yoon hasn't eaten anything today. Mi-young sighs and says to her family, "I know why. Today's the day she stops thinking about Woo-ju and remembers her husband instead." Then we see Han-kook remembering the past. He was there the day Woo-ju's parents died. A man nearby watches the crash and sends a message, reporting, "It's done." That man was Han-kook. Back in the present, Mary is at home when she notices it's raining. She steps outside and sees her cactus blooming with flowers. She takes a photo and sends it to Woo-ju. He receives it while sitting alone in his room, remembering how everyone ignored him that day. Then he sees Mary's message. It's blooming. A moment later, Mary gets a group message saying, "Today is team leader Woo-ju's birthday." She quickly texts him, "I'm sorry, I didn't even realize today's your birthday. Should I bring you a cake?" Woo-ju replies, "I'm starving. Just order me some food." Mary types back, "Would you like home-cooked food instead?" Then she hesitates. "What did I just write? Am I flirting with him?" Woo-ju messages, "All right, I'm coming over." Mary starts cooking, video calling her mom for help. Young-soo asks, "Why are you cooking so much? Are you expecting someone?" Mary denies it. "No, I'm just cooking for myself." She hangs up, but Young-soo smirks and says, "I know someone's coming. I just hope it's that guy." A little later, Woo-ju arrives at Mary's place and is shocked to see the table full of food. They sit down together, and Woo-ju tries the soup first, but it's way too salty. He laughs awkwardly and says, "It's been years since I've had soup. I stopped drinking it after my parents died." Mary gently tells him, "It's okay. There are so many days in a year. You can forget one. Just enjoy the rest." He smiles and eats quietly. Then, noticing something on her face, he leans forward and wipes it away. Mary glances outside and gasps, "There's a rainbow!" She takes him outside, telling him to make a wish. At that moment, her ex-husband Woo-ju arrives nearby, trying to call her. Mary asks the Woo-ju beside her, "What did you wish for?" He smiles but doesn't answer. She chases after him, insisting, "Tell me!" But she slips, her foot caught in a pipe, and falls right into his arms. The two look at each other, eyes locked, as Woo-ju slowly leans in to kiss her. Just then, her ex-husband stands nearby, watching them in silence. The episode ends right there. We'll meet again in episode 6. Until then, goodbye. Episode 6 begins right where the last one ended. As we saw before, Mary's ex, Woo-ju, had shown up at her house. But how did he get there? The reason was Jenny's cat, Elizabeth. After their breakup, he needed to return her cat. Jenny had stayed in Hong Kong with her fiancé, but told him to deliver the cat to her aunt's place. While looking for that house, he accidentally saw Mary and Woo-ju together, though he didn't clearly see Mary's face. Mary, on the other hand, noticed him immediately and quickly hid. Woo-ju was in a hurry, so he left, but he couldn't stop thinking about it and decided he needed to confirm what he saw. Later, Mary grew anxious and told Woo-ju, "That was my ex. How did he get here? Did someone tell him something?" But who could? Only Mary and Woo-ju knew the secret about this house. Woo-ju calmly told her to think rationally. "If he ever finds out tomorrow, what will you do then? Will you give up this house or stand your ground?" Mary said firmly that she would never join hands with her ex, no matter what. "Even if I get caught, I won't let him become part of this secret." Woo-ju reminded her how much she had struggled. "You've lost your mother's entire life savings because of that scam. You need to secure this house no matter what and sell it to rebuild your future. Everything you lost can only be regained through this." Meanwhile, Dr. Jing had come to Boat Palace to meet one of her relatives. While everyone was attending a group exercise session, she noticed Sangyan nearby. In that area, Sangyan was known as a single, hardworking man with great stamina, the kind who had never been seen with a woman. People in the community called him the most eligible bachelor. During the workout, one of the women suddenly had a cardiac arrest. Dr. Jing rushed forward to give CPR. She was dressed in workout clothes, and as she leaned down repeatedly, a couple of guys began taking photos of her. Seeing this, Sangyan became furious. He quickly helped Dr. Jing up, put his jacket over her shoulders, and took over the CPR himself. Dr. Jing realized that he was trying to protect her from embarrassment. Soon the ambulance arrived and the woman survived. Sangyan's jacket, however, remained with Jing. She wanted to return it, but he was nowhere to be seen because he had already caught the two boys. He beat them up, got their phone passcodes, deleted the pictures, and warned them that if they ever pulled something like that again, they'd regret it. Elsewhere, Mary was visiting the Sundong Company. She presented a new packaging design for their VVIP customers, beautifully packed bakery items along with a thank you card. The calligraphy on the cards was done by a famous monk. After finishing her work, she was about to leave when her ex, Wooju, appeared in front of her and greeted her casually. He even followed her inside the office, reminiscing about old times. He reminded her of when they opened the office and shared a kiss after the celebration. Mary felt disgusted. She hadn't thrown him out immediately because Wooju had told her to observe him, to find out whether he knew anything about the house. So she played along. Then her ex asked, "Have you ever been to Boat Palace? I saw a girl there who looked just like you." Mary replied, "How could I go there? That's a luxury area. I worked overtime the entire Sunday." Her ex then tried to rekindle things between them, but Mary firmly rejected him. "Everything between us is over. I want to be with someone who stood by me in my hardest times." The next day, the company started sending out the VIP gift packages. But just then, disaster struck. The monk whose calligraphy they used had been caught. He turned out to be a fraud. He'd even gotten drunk at the airport and caused a huge scene, grounding a flight. If the same calligraphy appeared on their products, their company could be dragged into the scandal. They had to stop all deliveries immediately. Wooju and his team jumped into action, and Mary joined them since it was their joint project. Meanwhile, at home, Auntie and Youngsu were up to their usual scheming. Auntie had a sharp tongue but wasn't as cold-hearted as she seemed. It was also revealed that she still deeply loved her husband. Youngsu teased her, saying, "If you saw me and Dad drowning, you'd save him, not me." Wooju's team managed to control the crisis. While opening one of the parcels, Wooju was suddenly barked at by a dog who thought he was an intruder. The dog charged at him, but Mary quickly handled it by offering a snack. She clearly knew how to handle pets, and Wooju thanked her, offering to carry her heavy bag. After that, Wooju dropped Mary off at her office. On the way, her ex kept calling, and Wooju asked why she wasn't answering. Mary said, "I already met him and told him to shut up." Meanwhile, at her ex's house, his mom and sister were leaving for Japan on vacation. Before leaving, his sister accidentally mentioned that Mary's mother had once come to their house and was humiliated by their mom before being kicked out. "And don't even think about Mary anymore. We only want Jenny as our future sister-in-law." This made the ex realize that Mary's anger might have been because of what his mother did. He thought, "I should go apologize to her. There's no way she's moved on from me. She can't live without me." Since Mary wasn't picking up his calls, he decided to go to her office. There, inside her office, he saw something shocking. Mary and Wooju sitting together. Mary was thanking Wooju and said, "I thought things through. You were right. I worked too hard for this house to give up now. Thank you for always supporting me more than I expected." She smiled and hugged him as a friend, but Wooju clearly had deeper feelings for her. Later that day, when Wooju was dropping Mary home, her ex arrived just in time to see them together. He was shocked, wondering who that guy was driving such an expensive car with her. So he decided to follow them. Eventually, their car entered the Bout Palace, and that's when all his suspicions turned into certainty. He even managed to get in by using Jenny's aunt's house number as an excuse. Wooju was only supposed to drop Mary off outside and leave, but then Sang Yuen came out to take a call. To avoid raising suspicion or answering questions again, Wooju decided to go inside. While they were there, he helped Mary hang some curtains and jokingly said that husbands should be the ones doing such chores. He got a bit too into character, and while calling himself her husband, accidentally turned on the shower. He ended up standing there completely drenched. Since his clothes were soaked, he had to stay a little longer. Before leaving, he told Mary, If you ever need help with something that requires a tall person, remember me. I'll come right away. Once he noticed Sang Yuen wasn't outside, he finally left. Meanwhile, her ex was still standing nearby. As Mary was sorting out garbage, he appeared and asked, "What are you doing here? You lied to me, didn't you? You actually live here, right? How could you afford such an expensive house? Who was that guy who dropped you off? Did you take on so much debt that you're now working as a housekeeper? Whose house are you taking care of? His? Are you offering him some extra services too?" Mary tried to ignore him and walked inside, but he followed her in. "There's no way you could have found a new boyfriend this fast. That means you were cheating on me back when we were together, right? This guy must have been around since then," he yelled before trying to apologize. Mary told him to shut up and started walking away, but he grabbed the door and forced his way in. She panicked. What if he saw the wedding photo of her and Kim Woo-ju together? To stop him, she clapped her hands, turning off the lights, and tried to push him out of the house. He stumbled badly and fell hard, screaming in pain. It looked like he'd broken his wrist. In the next scene, he's in the hospital, his wrist fractured and a few bruises on his thigh. He said, "My mom and sister aren't here, so you'll have to take care of me. After all, I got hurt because of you." Mary could have reported him as an intruder, but she couldn't risk the truth coming out. That the house was hers, Woo-ju might have found out everything. So she decided to stay quiet, take care of him for a few days, repay her anger, and then move on. Meanwhile, her uncle was deeply worried because the wife of the man he'd gotten killed, Mr. Koo, had come to meet the chairman. She brought documents she'd found hidden in her late husband's drawer. She'd kept a copy at home and given another to the uncle. Those documents showed that a US firm was being used for money laundering. But the uncle was the real thief. He knew exactly what was happening. He immediately called a woman in the US and ordered her to wrap everything up, cleanly, leaving no trace behind. Then we learned something shocking. The aunt who loved him deeply had been deceived all along. The uncle had another wife in the US and even a 9-year-old son. This man, who always smiled and acted kind, turned out to be far more deceitful than anyone imagined. Later, Woo-ju stopped by his office with a cup of coffee, saying he'd brought it for him, but by accident, he spilled it on the desk. While cleaning up, Woo-ju noticed those US firm documents before the uncle quickly snatched them away. Meanwhile, Dr. Jin had seen Sang Yuen beating up the guys who'd taken her photos. His protectiveness impressed her. When she went to return his jacket, she also brought some jellies as a thank you gift. At the same hospital, Mary's ex was admitted. She had to stay there to take care of him. He kept making excuses to get her attention, trying to win her back, while she stayed cold and distant. Woo-ju was waiting for her for lunch. They had made plans, but Mary forgot. When he called, she apologized and said, "Sorry, I forgot. A friend got hurt." She didn't tell him about her ex. Woo-ju felt uneasy but didn't press her. Then Dr. Jin called him and suggested they meet. He agreed and decided to have lunch with her at the hospital cafe. When he arrived, he saw Mary sitting there, with her ex right next to her. The ex, being the jerk he was, noticed Woo-ju and deliberately pulled Mary close to make him jealous. Woo-ju didn't say anything to Mary. He just calmly stepped aside and said, "Didn't I tell you? If you ever need help from a tall person, just call me." The ex kept yelling and pulling Mary forcefully back inside. Later, Mary apologized to Woo-ju and said, "Actually, he fell at my place, and I didn't want to trouble you again. You've already solved so many of my problems. Are you mad at me because of this?" Woo-ju replied, "I'm not mad, but what can I do? I think I like you. Because whenever I see another guy close to you, it just doesn't feel right." And with that, the episode ends. Stay tuned for the next one. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. At the beginning of episode 7, we see Woo-ju telling Mary that he likes her. Mary looks at him and asks, "Why do you like me?" Woo-ju says, "You don't need a reason to like someone." She asks again, "But why me? I'm divorced. Your family won't like me." Woo-ju calmly replies, "Are you dating me or my family? I like you. Does that bother you?" Mary denies it, but suddenly starts talking about money, saying that after marriage, they'll need financial stability. She looks at his clothes and says it seems like he doesn't save. Woo-ju smiles and says, "Who said I don't save? I just dressed up because we were meeting today." Then she asks where he lives. Woo-ju replies that he lives with his grandmother and asks, "Do you want me to move out and live with you instead?" Mary refuses. Woo-ju thinks for a moment and asks, Are you scared that I won't fit into your town? I didn't know you were like this, but I want you to know I'm a good person. I don't do shady things. Mary says she didn't mean it like that, and that his sudden words confused her. Wooju sighs and says, "Forget it. Let's pretend this conversation never happened," and starts to leave. Mary follows him saying, "How can I just forget? I was nervous. That's why I said all that." Meanwhile, Mary's ex, Wooju's namesake, keeps calling her but she doesn't pick up. Suddenly, both of them appear in front of her. The ex says, "Where did you go? I've been in so much pain." Then he sees Wooju and asks who he is. Wooju says, "I'm just someone who knows Mary." The ex replies, "I've never seen you before." Wooju then explains that he's the owner of the house and Mary is his housekeeper, and that he just came by for some work. The ex gets angry, accusing Wooju of using that excuse to get close to her. Mary snaps, "Stop saying nonsense. He's my team leader, and we work together." The ex moves closer to Wooju, threatening him, but Wooju warns him to back off. Later, when the ex is taken to a room, Wooju yells at him to stop. Mary gets a call from Song-ai saying she needs help with something urgent. Though Mary doesn't want to leave, Wooju insists that he'll take care of the ex and tells her to go. As she leaves, Wooju shouts, "Don't go!" Another patient scolds him, saying, "This isn't your father's place. Sit down quietly." Meanwhile, Wooju's grandmother remembers a moment when Mr. Ku's wife handed her some files. She tells her secretary she suspects there's a traitor in the company stealing money and asks for a secret investigation. The secretary agrees and walks out with the files, but runs into Han Cook, who notices them. He later visits Grandma to talk about his dormitory project. She asks if he set up a meeting with David. He says yes, and in the next scene, they meet David, who runs a hotel and plans to collaborate with them. After Grandma leaves, it's revealed that David is secretly working with Han Cook. David asks why he shut down the American branch, and Han Cook replies that Grandma was starting to suspect something, so he had no choice. Back at the hospital, Wooju brings food to the ex, who looks at it and says, "These are just flatbreads. I can't eat this." Wooju calmly says, "Then don't," and starts eating it himself. The ex reluctantly drinks some milk. Then he says, "You probably don't know, but Mary and I were together for 5 years. We dated, and we even got married." Wooju replies, "Yeah, I know. You cheated on her." The ex says he was confused back then, but now he's changed and plans to get back together with Mary. He adds, "You can't stop us. Mary likes handsome guys like me." That night, Mary remembers when Wooju had held her hand and asked if it bothered her that he liked her. She remembers how shy she felt at that moment. Then Wooju messages her, saying he's leaving the hospital. Mary thanks him and says she won't bother him anymore. Wooju smiles softly and walks away. In the next scene, Jinhua is seen talking to her patient when she accidentally bumps into Yunsu and Jinhua. Yunsu gets irritated and curses before walking away. Later, a nurse goes to give the ex an injection, but complains about his strong smell. She manages to do it, and then tells Wooju that the smell might bother other patients and he needs to do something. Wooju goes to the ex and asks when he last took a shower. Then he grabs a wet cloth and starts wiping him down. The ex shouts, "What are you doing? My skin is sensitive." Just then, Wooju's family walks in. Yunsu asks who did this, and the ex points at Wooju. Wooju simply says, "Oh, you're here? My job's done," and leaves. Yunsu then asks Wooju about his small fracture and says it will heal soon. Jinhua suggests it happened when he went to see Mary. Yunsu yells, asking why he would go see her. Jinhua asks if he still loves Mary. "That can't happen," she says. Yunsu scolds him, asking what's wrong with him, and what about Jenny? Wooju says he and Jenny broke up, then starts crying, confessing that he loves Mary and can't live without her. He pleads with his mother to go see Mary and apologize for what she did to Mary's mom, saying that if he can't be with Mary, he'll die. In the next scene, Mary's mom and daughter talk to her, saying it's her fault that Wooju ended up like this and that she should go take care of him. They remind her how close they once were. Mary says she was already there before they arrived. She fulfilled her duty and asked them not to call her again. Song-ai overhears everything. Mary asks if she heard it all, and Song-ai nods. Mary admits she recently broke up, but forgot to tell her. Song-ai says Wooju called asking about her, and she told him where Mary was. She hoped she didn't mess things up. Mary says it's fine, but asks her not to answer his calls next time. Soon after, Wooju calls Mary and meets her outside. He greets her and invites her into his car. Mary looks around and asks about the car. Wooju says, I've had it for a while, but this is the first time I'm using it. You're my first passenger. He smiles and adds, From now on, I'll give you a ride anytime. I want to treat you well. Mary says she won't fall for his sweet talk. Wooju laughs and says, All right then. Later, he gives her flowers. She smiles and asks what they're called. He says he doesn't know and tells her to search it up. She does, and the meaning comes up as, My heart is honest. Realizing what it means, she blushes. We see Jin Kyung talking to her patient, who was supposed to come but didn't show up. Listen then starts to leave. Jin Kyung stops Listen and says, I can't finish all this food, so please stay. Listen agrees and sits down. Jin Kyung starts asking him several questions about his life, one of them being about how he once hit the kids and deleted the photos. Then she asks, Your boss doesn't treat you well, so why don't you stand up against him? Meanwhile, Woo-ja drives Mary back to her house. She's about to say goodbye, but first gives him a gift, saying, You took care of Woo-ju at the hospital, and I really appreciate that. I wanted to give you something. Woo-ju smiles and says, At least make me some noodles or give me a glass of water. Actually, I have something to show you. Later, they're inside her house, and he shows her his old diary. Someone once said that to know someone's future, you need to look at their past. He says, This is my childhood diary. It clearly shows how much I used to save. I've always been good at saving money. Mary looks through it and says, Okay, I get it. But then she notices the name Miso written in it, along with a line that says, I'm really grateful for her. Mary asks, Who's Miso? Is she your first love? Wooju tries to grab the diary back, but Mary refuses, saying she wants to read it. In the process, he ends up leaning over her, and they stare at each other for a moment. Just as they're about to kiss, both of their stomachs growl. They laugh, realizing they're hungry. Mary makes some noodles, and they eat together. She then says they need alcohol, so they go outside and drink. While drinking, she looks at the diary again and asks, Who's Miso? Why are you grateful to her? Was she your crush? Wooju teases her, saying, Are you feeling jealous? She denies it, but he still doesn't tell her who Miso really is. She playfully shakes his chair in frustration. In the next scene, we see Jin Young coming out of a restaurant with Listen. She's clearly drunk and starts talking about her looks, asking, Do you think I'm attractive? Listen replies, You're not that bad. She sighs and says, Then why doesn't my crush like me? We grew up together. Maybe he didn't understand dating back then, but he does now. So why doesn't he date me? Listen says, Maybe you just weren't attractive as a kid. She grabs his face and stares at him for a moment before sitting down and crying. Then their car arrives. Listen says, That's my car, but Jin Young insists, No, it's mine, and gets in. When Listen tries to get her out, she falls asleep inside. Meanwhile, Mary asks Wooju if he called a driver. Wooju says he didn't, and keeps canceling the request, saying, I don't think we'll get a driver tonight. She's already asleep outside, so I guess I'll have to sleep here too. Mary looks at him and says, You can sleep here. This house is partly yours anyway, but where will you sleep? Wooju looks around and says, I'll just sleep on the couch. Mary asks, Why the couch? Wooju laughs and says, It's really comfortable here, then lies down. Mary says she'll bring him a shirt, but when she returns, he's already asleep. She gently covers him with a blanket and says softly, You look so handsome when you're sleeping. That night, lightning flashes outside, and both of them wake up. Wooju looks out the window and texts her, Are you asleep? She replies, No, the thunder scared me. Wooju sends her a song, and both of them listen to it quietly from their own rooms. The next morning, they're wearing matching clothes. Wooju says, Listen once said he wanted to have lunch with us. Let's do it today. That's why we're matching. Soon Listen shows up near Mary. Wooju jokes, My wife insisted we have lunch with you today. Listen smiles awkwardly and says, I already ate, maybe next time, then leaves. Later, Jin Kyung wakes up and looks around, confused about where she is. Then she remembers what happened the night before, how she was drunk, hit Listen, kicked him, even started taking off her clothes, but he stopped her. She remembers falling on top of him, and the two of them staring at each other before she ran off to throw up. Now sober, she feels regret, thinking, I shouldn't have done that. Then she hears Listen coming and pretends to be asleep. Listen quietly says, I dried your clothes and made some hangover soup, and leaves. Meanwhile, Wooju and Mary go out for a walk. Mary spots her favorite actor and excitedly runs to him for an autograph. The actor starts signing her shirt, but Woo-ju interrupts, saying, "Sign here instead." Mary also asks for a photo with the actor, and Woo-ju, feeling jealous but having no choice, takes the picture. Later at home, Mary looks at the photo and says, "Why is this photo so bad? I know you did it on purpose." Woo-ju laughs and says, "I didn't. Next time, we'll take a better one." But just then, Jin appears and asks Woo-ju, "What's going on here? What are you doing?" He explains everything, but Mary overhears it all from nearby. Jin yells at Woo-ju, saying, "How could you do this? If your grandmother finds out, you know what will happen. Just stop whatever you're doing right now." Meanwhile, Grandma's secretary calls a company CEO to ask about some financial documents. The man says he already verified them. They're real. Hankook is there with him, and the man warns that the chairwoman might be suspicious of the documents. In the next scene, Mary is at work when she gets a call from Jin asking to meet. When they meet, Jin says, "I called you out suddenly because I needed to tell you something. Whatever you have going on with Woo-ju, stop it. You need to step back. You don't know who he really is. He's the heir to the bakery company." Mary is shocked and says, "I had no idea. If I'd known, I wouldn't have acted this way. I was only thinking about myself. I'm sorry." Jin continues, "You also owe him a debt. That's why he's been helping you." Mary asks, "What debt?" Jin explains, "Woo-ju is the same boy your father once saved." Later, Mary is waiting at a bus stop, lost in thought. She remembers everything from the past and finally realizes who Woo-ju really is. She says to herself, "So that's why he was helping me. He must have felt guilty." She decides to go back to her hometown. Meanwhile, Woo-ju meets Jin and asks, "What did you tell her?" Jin says regretfully, "I think I messed up. I told Mary everything and told her to stop using you." Woo-ju walks away without listening, calling Mary, but she doesn't answer. Mary returns home and talks to her mother. Her mom, Young-suk, asks, "Why are you here? Did something happen?" Mary says no. Young-suk talks to her dog, saying, "He hasn't eaten anything today." Mary asks why, and her mom explains, "There was a female dog he liked, but she got close to another one, so he's been sulking." Mary smiles and says she'll take the dog out for a walk, leaving her phone behind. While walking, she talks to the dog and says, "You fall in love too easily. You shouldn't do that. You can't just give your heart to anyone. You'll only end up hurt." Just then, Woo-ju drives up and sees her. He gets out and asks, "Why didn't you answer my calls?" Mary says, "I left my phone at home." He takes her to a beautiful place, and they sit down to talk. Woo-ju asks, "Did you meet Jin? Why didn't you tell me?" She says, "I was going to." Woo-ju replies, "Ask me anything you want." Mary asks, "Do you still have that doll?" Woo-ju nods, saying, "Yeah, it's safe with me." Then Mary says softly, "So, the miso in your diary, that's me." Woo-ju smiles and confirms it. Mary looks down and says, "You were helping me because you felt bad. But you don't need to do that anymore. My father's death wasn't your fault." Woo-ju stands up and says firmly, "I don't feel bad. I like you. That's why I helped you. I'll always be by your side." He steps closer, kisses her, and the episode ends. At the beginning of episode 8, we see Young-soo at night talking to herself, wondering where he might be. She asks if he's already had dinner. She thinks that if he comes late, it'll actually be nice. They'll get to spend more time together. Then she recalls what happened that evening. Mary comes running in, changes her outfit quickly. Her mom asks where she's going. Mary replies that she's going to meet someone. Her team leader, Woo-ju, who's in town. She tells her mom to have dinner without her and rushes out. Woo-ju and Mary are together. Woo-ju starts talking about when his parents had their accident. He says that while they were being transferred to the hospital, they passed away. He was telling his grandmother everything, but his grandfather overheard. From that moment on, his grandfather stopped talking to him. He blamed Woo-ju for their deaths. When Woo-ju was sent abroad to study, he had to learn how to handle things on his own. Mary asks if he ever came to Korea. Woo-ju says yes, he did, only to see her. He'd found out where she lived and went to meet her, but at that moment, she was talking with her mother about her father. When he overheard that conversation, he quietly left. Mary says she remembers. When she came to the door, she saw a glass of juice and noticed someone leaving. She didn't know it was him, but tells him he left too soon. He should have stayed to hear her mother's full story. Then we see what her mother actually said later. Yongsoo had told Mary that her father was always helping others, that he had saved that boy's life. She knew that boy wasn't the reason Mary's father died. Woo-ju admits he acted rashly and should have listened till the end. Then he asks about her life. Mary tells him that after her father's death, she and her sister, Sori, lived together. She used to hang out in the same area. We see a flashback, young Mary sitting alone, drawing something. She realizes her father isn't nearby, starts looking around, shouting, crying. Then her father appears, smiling, and lifts her onto his shoulders. Mary tells Woo-ju that she was terrified when her father was gone, but when he lifted her up, all her fear vanished. She never felt scared again after that. Then she points to a star in the sky, saying it's like a lighthouse for her. Woo-ju laughs and says, "That's not a star, it's a satellite." Mary looks a little upset and starts to walk away. He stops her saying, "I can be your lighthouse." She asks how, and he suddenly lifts her onto his shoulders. She laughs and tells him she's heavy, but he says she's light as a feather. Just then, they stumble over a rock and fall down together. They look into each other's eyes and kiss. In the next scene, we see Jin-young sitting quietly, remembering when she stopped Woo-ju from leaving and what she said to him then. Ji-young comes over upset, asking what she did wrong. She says, "She was using you. I was just trying to stop her. Tell me what you really feel. I know this isn't love. It's guilt." Woo-ju says, "I like Mary. You have no idea how I actually feel. And if you ever do something like this again, I'll lose my mind." He walks away, leaving her in tears. In the present, Jin-kyung starts crying. She says, "Everyone knows I like you, so why don't you?" Nearby, Listen sees her crying and comes over to comfort her. He asks what happened, but she first asks what he's doing there. Listen says he runs there every day. He sits beside her and tells her, "If you really feel something for him, you should tell him as soon as possible. Otherwise, you'll regret it later." He then invites her to come running with him and takes off. After a moment, Jin-kyung starts running too, catches up to him, and remembers telling Mary before, "Stay away from Woo-ju." She now realizes she messed up, that Woo-ju likes someone else, and she shouldn't have come between them. Meanwhile, Yongsoo enters Woo-ju's room, bringing him a blanket. Woo-ju says she can talk comfortably. They've met before. Yongsoo nods and leaves. Then she talks with Mary, asking why she's there. Mary says she doesn't know. Yongsoo teases that she must have come to see Woo-ju. Mary denies it and goes back to her room. Yongsoo, suspicious, mutters that something is definitely going on, but Mary won't tell her. Later, Mary is doing her makeup when Woo-ju calls her, asking her to come to his room quickly. When she gets there, he points at a cockroach. Mary rolls her eyes and says, "You called me here for this?" She catches it with a paper and throws it outside. Woo-ju hugs her, saying she's reliable, his type, and that he loves her. Mary blushes, saying she didn't do anything. As she's about to leave, Yongsoo enters to check on Woo-ju. She thinks he's asleep, quietly leaves something by his bed, and walks out. Mary whispers that her mom must have gone, but Woo-ju tells her to stay. She keeps asking if her mom's still there, and he insists she is. When she finally checks, she realizes he was joking. She laughs and calls him a liar, and they start playing around, laughing together. The next morning, Woo-ju gets ready and comes outside, watching Mary still asleep. Yongsoo appears, asking if he slept well, and telling him to freshen up so they can have breakfast together. He agrees. At breakfast, the three of them sit down to eat Korean hen. Yongsoo asks if he knows what it symbolizes. Woo-ju says yes, it's usually prepared for a son-in-law. Mary glances at her mom. Yongsoo says, "My daughter is already married, you know that, right?" Woo-ju nods. She adds that it was her mistake, that she pushed Mary into registering the marriage and regrets it deeply. She blames herself, but Mary tells her not to. Woo-ju assures her that it doesn't matter to him. It's not important. Yongsoo replies, "Maybe not to you, but it is for your family." Woo-ju explains that his parents are gone and only his grandmother is alive. Yongsoo says she just wants Mary to be happy and loved. Woo-ju smiles and says, "I'm good at that." Mary tells her mom to stop saying such things, but Yongsoo smirks and says, "I know you two were hugging tightly last night. You really think I wouldn't notice?" Both of them fall silent. In the final scene, it's Mary's father's death anniversary. They all visit the memorial site. Woo-jo stands before her father's photo and says softly, "Thank you for saving me. It took me a long time to say this, but, thank you. Forgive me for this." Young-suk turns to her husband and says, "That's the boy you saved. Now he's grown up into a good man, and he's with our Mary." Mary's sister, Sori, calls her from America and asks where she is. Mary tells her they came for their dad's anniversary and says, "Say hello to everyone." Sori looks around and asks if she's there alone again, or if Woo-ju didn't come this time either. Young-suk answers, "Who said he didn't come?" Then she turns the camera to show him. Sori stares and says, "Who's that? That can't be Woo-ju. Did he get surgery or something?" Young-suk laughs and says, "It's Woo-ju, but this one's a different Woo-ju." Sori frowns, confused. Mary tells her, "Just come here once, I'll explain everything later," and hangs up the call. Next, we see Young-suk preparing food for the two of them before they head back to Seoul. She needs some plates and asks Mary to bring them. When Mary reaches for the shelf, she can't quite get to it, so Woo-ju comes up behind her to help. Young-suk sees them standing close together and quickly says she needs to use the bathroom, then walks away. After she leaves, they both start laughing. Later, they go out together to hang out. Mary tells Woo-ju that her mom likes him, but she hasn't told her yet that he's the CEO's grandson, because she'd probably freak out. Woo-ju smiles and says it's fine. She can tell her when the time's right. Mary adds that she's going to tell Listen that their marriage is fake. She can't keep lying to him. It's not right. "At worst, he could sue me," she says, "but I've got other things to focus on now. You're with me. I'll work hard, make money, and pay off Dad's debt. Can you wait until then?" Woo-ju hugs her and says, "Whatever you decide, I'll always be on your side." Meanwhile, Mi-yeon is with her husband, Han-koo, who's packing for a business trip to America. She asks when he'll be back, and he says the company's 80th anniversary is coming soon. He'll return within 2 weeks. Mi-yeon tells him to keep calling her and to help their son, Young-soo. "He's been talking about becoming a team leader," she says. "You should do something for your only son." Han-koo nods and says he understands. Mi-yeon calls Young-soo to drive his father to the airport. He refuses at first but ends up going anyway. In the car, Han-koo is on the phone with his second wife, Min-jung. She says she can call him now, but he tells her not yet because Young-suk is with him. "Once I reach the airport, then you can call," he says. Young-soo notices and tells his father, "After you leave, Mom's going to miss you. Please call her sometimes." Han-koo nods. Then Young-soo adds, "Buy Mom a new pair of shoes, okay? You remember her size?" Han-koo hesitates, checks his phone, and says, "Yeah, that's right. I forgot for a second." At the airport, they say goodbye. Young-soo wants to ask something but decides not to. Later, Woo-ju takes Mary to a home store. Coincidentally, Young-suk and Jin-hwa are there too. Young-suk is looking at items for her house, but Jin-hwa stops her, saying they don't have enough money. "Woo-ju's jobless now," she reminds her. "He quit his job. You shouldn't be doing this." Young-suk gets upset and says, "Don't mention his name in front of me." Meanwhile, Woo-ju shows Mary a new kitchen setup, saying he wants to buy it because her mom's kitchen is too old. He asks for her opinion. Mary refuses at first, saying it's unnecessary, but Woo-ju insists, so she finally agrees. Nearby, Jin-hwa secretly spots them together and shows her mom. Both of them hide and watch. Jin-hwa frowns, saying, "That guy looks familiar." Then she remembers. "Wait, that's the one from the hospital." She snaps a photo and sends it to Woo-ju, saying they're together. Woo-ju gets the picture and mutters, "I knew it. Something like this was bound to happen." He realizes Mary lied to him. He tries calling Song-yi to ask where Mary is, but she doesn't pick up because Mary had told her earlier not to answer. He recalls the time when Song-yi mentioned a bakery during one of their calls. He searches for that bakery online, finds the number, and calls. Sejong answers saying, "Yeah, Woo-ju's our team leader. He didn't come today. He's on leave." Meanwhile, Pilrayon gives a short interview to the media, and Mi-yeon arrives to meet her. At first, Mi-yeon speaks politely, but then she asks if Pilrayon will announce the successor during the company's 80th anniversary, because her son, Young-soo, is also in line. Pilrayon smirks and says, "He's not smart enough. You already know who the real successor is." Mi-yeon argues fiercely, saying, "Do whatever you want with me, but if you ever hurt my son or my husband, I won't stay quiet." Then she storms off. She tries calling Han-koo again, but he doesn't answer. He's with Min-jung. Minjung tells him they've shut down JY Consulting, so there's no more evidence against them. Hanku reminds her that she used to work under the chairwoman and knows how sharp she is. She's already suspicious that someone's been embezzling from the company, he says. Minjung replies, "Your wife invested in those funds, but technically, she was investing in your equity firm. If she ever finds out her money's gone because of you, who knows what she'll do." Later, Wooju's team has a meeting with Mary. After the meeting, Wooju tells her he wants to talk outside. As soon as they step out, he kisses her. Mary pulls back, shocked, saying, "What are you doing? Someone might see." Wooju smirks and says, "No one will. This is my company. Well, my grandma's for now." He asks why she didn't reply to his messages during the meeting. Mary says, "How could I? Song Yi and Sejong were sitting right next to me. They could have seen your name." Wooju laughs and says, "Then just change my name." Meanwhile, Sun Hee comes running to the college and announces that the chairwoman wants to meet them. Everyone gets excited. Wooju tells Mary about it, and she says she has to go too. Wooju smiles and says his grandma loved her design and wants to thank her personally. "Don't worry," he tells her. Later, Wooju gets discharged from the hospital. His family suggests going out for a meal together, but he says he wants to stop somewhere first. He goes to the bakery, trying to enter, but the security guard throws him out. In the parking lot, he mutters to himself, "No matter what, I'll get inside somehow." Then he heads to the elevator, where Sun Hee and Sejong are talking about him. That's when Wooju overhears the truth, that he's actually the CEO's grandson, and the company will someday be his. Later at karaoke, someone finds a letter saying that Wooju's been using his name and flirting with his girlfriend. He looks at it, then tears it apart, saying it doesn't matter anymore, and starts singing loudly. In the next scene, everyone gathers to meet the chairwoman. Someone asks where Wooju is, and then it's revealed. He's her grandson. Everyone is shocked, except for Sun Hee and Mary, who already knew. Wooju introduces everyone and points out Mary, saying she's from the design team. The chairwoman thanks her for her beautiful design. During lunch, the chairwoman mentions that she hates people who deceive others. Mary takes that personally and becomes visibly upset. As they're about to leave, Jin Kyung arrives to meet the chairwoman. She spots Wooju and Mary together and frowns. She tells the chairwoman she's starving, and the chairwoman invites her to join them for lunch. Outside, Mary's colleagues are chatting in the car. Sun Hee grins and says, "You guys are going to be shocked when you hear this. Wooju's the CEO's grandson." He asked Mary if she already knew about it. Mary replied that she had only found out recently. Then they started talking about Jin Kyung, wondering who she really was, since she seemed so close to the chairwoman. Yong-soo said he'd heard she was the daughter of a hospital director, and that she might be the one engaged to Wooju. Mary didn't say anything. Jin Kyung had come to check on the chairwoman's health. The chairwoman asked her if she had told Wooju how she really felt, but Jin Kyung denied it, saying she loved Wooju more like a brother than a boyfriend. Wooju, on the other hand, was at home watching an old video from a beauty competition where they were announcing a big new prize. His mother came in, handed him the medical bills, and told him to take them to the insurance office. She asked if he didn't plan on getting a job anytime soon. Wooju lost his temper, shouted at her, and stormed out of the house. Meanwhile, Jinhwa told her mother that she should have treated Mary better, saying, "Now look what's happening." She added that she didn't want to be called and would be coming home late. Wooju called the insurance company to discuss the medical bills, but during that call, he stumbled upon something strange about his wedding records. That's when he remembered the time Mary was at his house and how everything had unfolded. He recalled his grandmother's words, "I don't like people who deceive others." He also remembered Jin Kyung showing up that same day. Thinking about all of this, Wooju decided to call Mary. When she answered, he asked what she was doing. Mary replied that she was having dinner. Wooju said, "Okay, I'm coming over. I want to see you." Mary went back to her work. A few moments later, someone knocked on her door. She assumed it was Wooju and went to check. But when she opened it, it turned out to be the other Wooju. She was shocked and asked, "What are you doing here? I don't want to talk to you." She tried to close the door, but he stopped her. Mary pulled out her phone and said she'd call the police, but he grabbed her phone and said, "I should be the one filing a report." He was holding evidence of the fake wedding and said, "I know about your fake marriage. You must have enjoyed pulling that off, huh?" Mary froze in shock, and the episode ended there. Episode 9 begins with Woo Jo visiting an insurance office to handle some paperwork. While leaving, he asks for his marriage certificate. When he checks it, he notices something strange. It doesn't have the divorce date on it. Confused, he asks the woman there, and she explains that his divorce hasn't actually gone through yet. Stepping outside, Woo Jo talks to himself, wondering why she didn't sign the divorce papers. Was she too busy, or maybe, does she still like him? That night, he goes to see Mary, holding a bouquet of flowers. Nearby, two women passing by notice Mary's house and comment that she won it in a lucky draw. They laugh, saying her husband must be a lucky man to have such a wife. They mention it was sponsored by a looking around and says sarcastically, "Nice place, you really played me well." Mary insists she didn't deceive him, but Woo Jo angrily says, "You didn't even file the divorce. You're living here like nothing happened. You're shameless." Mary shouts back, "I'm not shameless. You abandoned me overnight, gave me the divorce, and left all the debt on me." Woo Jo lowers his tone, saying, "I'm sorry for that. But let's start over. We can live here together again. Forget that guy. He's just your client, a fake husband. It's not like you actually fell in love with him, right?" Mary stays silent, and Woo Jo grows frustrated. "Say something," he shouts. Then he threatens, "I'll report that beauty shop for fraud." Mary calmly replies, "Go ahead. I was planning to do it anyway. I'm tired of living in fear that you'll find out what I did. I trapped Woo Jo in this situation, and I regret it every day." Woo Jo sneers. "Why would you regret it? I know who he is, the son of a company CEO. If I tell everyone about you two, you know what'll happen, right? He'll lose his inheritance, his company, everything. He'll have to leave the country." Mary screams, "Let him. He's done nothing wrong." Woo Jo replies coldly, "Fine, I'll let him go, but you have to stay away from him. If you don't, I'll expose everything." Then he looks at their wedding photo, clenches his fist, punches the wall, and storms out. Later, Woo Jo calls Mary and says, "I'm at a coffee shop. Want to join me?" She answers softly, "No, I can't. I need to rest." Woo Jo says, "All right, we'll meet some other day." In the next scene, Woo Jo visits his grandmother. She shows him some documents about J Consulting. She explains, "You know our employee Mr. O, who died in a car accident 2 months ago? Before he died, he discovered that company funds were being funneled into J Consulting. Someone's embezzling money." Woo Jo asks, "Who's J Consulting?" She says, "They handled our US market licensing. But now I want you to investigate them secretly. Don't tell anyone, not even your Uncle Hancock. He's the one who brought them into our company." Later that night, Woo Jo reviews the documents and remembers when he once spilled coffee near his uncle and accidentally saw similar paperwork. His uncle quickly took them back. Why did he hide this from me? He wonders. Woo Jo calls his friend John and asks him to dig up everything on J Consulting. Meanwhile, Song Yi is seen on the phone. She tells Mary that the bakery client loved their design, but Mary seems distracted. Song Yi repeats it, and Mary finally says, "All right, send it for printing." Song Yi looks concerned, asking, "Are you okay? You skipped lunch?" Mary forces a smile. "I'm fine. I'm going out for coffee." As Mary steps outside, Woo Jo's words echo in her mind. "Stay away from him, or I'll tell everyone." On the other side, Woo Jo is also thinking about Mary, wondering, what's bothering her? How can I make her feel better? He remembers his grandma's words about the kind of woman he likes and starts piecing things together. At work, Young-soo is giving a love tip session to colleagues. Woo Jo quietly joins, listening carefully and writing down every point. When they notice him eavesdropping, they ask, "What are you doing here?" Embarrassed, Woo Jo runs off, but he's smiling. Later, he calls Mary again, trying to apply Young-soo's advice, asking her out for dinner, suggesting they hang out. But she declines. Woo Jo sighs, saying, "We barely see each other. When will we ever go on a date?" Mary replies, "I'm busy with your company's 80th anniversary event. We'll meet after that." Just then, Woo Jo gets an email from John. It says J Consulting has already shut down. It was registered under a restaurant. Its CEO is a man named JC, or in Korean, Min Young. He even has an 8-year-old child. Woo Jo realizes that he's seen that name before on the documents. Next, we see Myeon leaving a temple. She calls her husband, saying, "I came here because they told me someone will betray me." Hankook asks, "Are you still visiting those people? You were supposed to stop." Myeon replies, "I think I know who'll betray me, my mother. She wants to make her husband the successor instead of our daughter. I went to confront her and yelled at her." Hankook scolds her. "You shouldn't have done that. You know your mother always has her reasons. If you upset her, she could even faint. Don't make it worse. He comforts her with sweet words, unaware that Min-young is nearby, overhearing everything. Later, Min-young confronts him. Why were you talking to her like that, being all sweet? He smirks. Are you jealous? She denies it, saying, You promised to divorce her, but you haven't. How long am I supposed to wait? You can't even take your son out in public because you're afraid someone will see you. I can't take this anymore. Divorce her. Do you know what I've done just to be with you? Have you forgotten what happened 27 years ago? Hankook stops her and says, I know. I'll divorce her soon. Don't worry. Our dreams will come true. Just then the doorbell rings. Min-young assumes it's Henry, and she's right. He's there with So-ri, who came to drop him off. When Henry hears that his father is inside, he runs toward the house, but So-ri doesn't get a clear look at who's there. As she leaves, Min-young stops her, hands her some money, and says, Take it. It's for keeping our little secret. But So-ri shakes her head. I can't take this. Min-young insists, It's not for you. It's for silence. Sari accepts the money and walks away. We see Woo-ju texting Mary, asking her to come to a meeting. Mary turns to Song-yi and asks, Is there some kind of meeting happening? Song-yi replies, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. Mary leaves to attend the meeting, walking down the street. But suddenly, Woo-ju pulls up in his car and tells her to get in. The two of them drive to an open spot and sit together, having drinks. Woo-ju looks at her and says, Tell me, why are you so upset? Is it because of my grandma? She's not like how you think she is. I'll talk to her. Don't you trust me? Mary looks away and says, You once told me that everyone has a secret. Woo-ju remembers that moment and replies, Yeah, I did say that. But back then, I didn't really understand what it meant. I just said it without thinking. Mary sighs. I don't know anymore. But now, I just want to focus on my future. I'm not leaving that house. Woo-ju reminds her, You said you'd tell Leeson everything. Mary shakes her head. No, I won't. I still have a huge debt to pay off. I need to clear that first. Then she says something that really hurts Woo-ju. He looks at her and directly asks, Do you want to break up? She nods quietly, then walks away. Later, while riding the bus, Mary starts remembering all her past moments with Woo-ju. How happy they used to be. In the next scene, we see Leeson meeting with Sang-yeon. The mayor is there too, talking to Sang-yeon. He says, I told you to give me one of the towns, but you didn't. Sang-yeon replies, I'm trying my best. The mayor warns him, If you give me the town, I'll make sure your new store gets a permit. After the mayor leaves, Sang-yeon tells Leeson, Handle the new town. But Leeson says, We don't have any available towns. We'll have to wait at least 10 months. Sang-yeon gets angry and yells, We can't wait that long. Don't you get it? We're getting a new store. You're not the same as before. You used to be fearless. Remember how you talked to my father, how you tricked him and took my exam? You've lost that fire, but I don't care. You're doing this. In the next scene, Woo-ju tries to call Mary. As he waits, he remembers texting her before, apologizing. I'm sorry. I didn't consider how you felt. We'll talk another day. I'll wait for you. Then, Jin Kyung messages him, asking how he's been. Woo-ju replies, I'm fine. She writes back, That day I crossed the line. I'm sorry. Woo-ju responds, No, I'm sorry. I yelled at you. Jin Kyung says, If you want, I can apologize to Mary too. Woo-ju tells her not to. She then asks if he wants to grab dinner together, but Woo-ju says, Not right now. Things aren't going well. That night, Leeson goes out for a run. He thinks about the conversation he had with Sang-yeon earlier. Later, he stops by a store to buy a drink. But before he can pay, Jin shows up and pays for it instead. Outside, they talk. Jin says, You were running really fast. I was right behind you, but you didn't even notice me. Is something going on? You can tell me. Leeson looks at her and asks, What about you? Jin Kyung replies, I think they broke up. Leeson smiles faintly and says, Then that's good news for you. Maybe it's your chance. She laughs it off and asks, Okay then, tell me what's going on with you. Leeson sighs. My boss gave me a job that's impossible. I don't think I can handle it. Jin Kyung says, Then stop working for your boss. You're capable. You could do something better. But Leeson shakes his head. I can't quit. I have my reasons. Jin teases. Then blackmail him. Use the stock issue or something like that. Leeson replies quietly, I can't. Because I'm the one who caused that mess. If this comes out, I'll be the one who gets hurt. In the next scene, Woo-ju is in a meeting with Mary. After it ends, someone tells him, It's the chairman's birthday today. You should go. While waiting for the elevator, Woo-ju looks around and notices Mary isn't there. Chung-yi tells him she had an appointment. Woo-ju leaves, but Mary goes to a studio and sees a famous actress there, which reminds her of her past. Then we see Woo-ju standing on a bridge, also lost in thought, remembering his moments with Mary. Later that night, he goes to her house. The lights are on at first, then suddenly turn off. He calls her, but she doesn't answer. Inside, Mary remembers what happened earlier. She was hanging out on the rooftop when she saw Woo-ju coming, so she ran inside and turned off the lights. In the next scene, a security guard approaches Woo-ju and takes him to the control room. He shows him footage of a man coming to the building earlier, carrying a letter and asking to meet the chairwoman. The guards kicked him out, but he kept asking, "What's Woo-ju's relationship with the chairwoman?" After that, Woo-ju drives to Mary's house, trying to call her again, but she still doesn't pick up. Woo-ju wonders aloud, "Did the other Woo-ju find out who I really am?" At Mary's place, she tells Woo-ju, "I did what you asked. I broke up with him." Woo-ju smiles, relieved. "Good. Now let's talk about us. Let's start over." But Mary frowns. "What are you talking about? That wasn't part of the deal." Woo-ju steps closer, kneels down, hits himself, and says, "I'm sorry for everything I did. Please give me one more chance. I won't report you to the department store." Mary answers coldly, "Don't bother. I was planning to report it myself." She grabs her phone to call Leeson and walks out, but Woo-ju stops her. "You can't do that," Mary shouts. "This is my house. I can do whatever I want." Woo-ju yells back, "No, half of this house is mine too." Mary looks at him in shock. "So that's what this is about. You came here for the house." Woo-ju replies, "Yes, I want this house, and I want you. If you don't listen to me, I'll expose who Woo-ju really is. You know what that'll cause." Mary screams, "Leave him alone." Woo-ju raises his hand to hit her, but just then, the real Woo-ju arrives, grabs him, and throws him back. "If you've got something to say it to me," he warns. "Stay away from Mary." The fake Woo-ju sneers. "You two were working together, weren't you? You'll both pay for this." He moves to punch him, but the real Woo-ju lands a strong punch first. "No," he says, "you're the one who'll pay." He then plays a recording of the man's own words. "This house is half mine. We'll live here together." Woo-ju says, "Now you're involved too. Do whatever you want, but I'm done with your games." After the fight, Woo-ju hugs Mary tightly and goes inside with her. He says softly, "You should have told me earlier what was happening. I don't want you breaking up because of me. If you really care about me, stay with me. When you weren't around, I was miserable." Mary whispers, "I already said things I shouldn't have. I'm sorry." Then the two share a kiss. In the next scene, Woo-ju is looking over a guest list for the anniversary event. His expression changes when he sees one name on it, the beauty department store. He's shocked. Meanwhile, Leeson and Song-yeon are at the airport. Woo-ju calls them, but Leeson says, "We can't make it to the anniversary." On the plane, a man recognizes Leeson and starts talking to him. Sang-yeon asks afterwards, "Who is that?" Leeson says, "I met him once or twice in the US." Back at home, Woo-ju's grandma looks over the same list. She tells him, "All right, invite them all. And you can invite whoever you want to. I want to see who it is you chose instead of Jin." Woo-ju smiles and says, "She's really pretty. You'll fall in love with her when you see her. But when she finds out what you're really like, I don't know what'll happen." Then Grandma shouts, saying, "I'm not like what you think I am. What, she won't like our family? Tell her that I don't have a mother, only a grandmother. And this grandmother is weak now. She can do whatever she wants in this house. She can eat whatever she likes." In the next scene, Woo-ju talks to Mary about everything and says, "You should look pretty when you come." Mary smiles and replies, "Okay." Later, we see her arrive at the event, but she hesitates outside and can't bring herself to go in. Woo-ju notices her standing there, walks up and asks softly, "What's wrong? Why aren't you going inside?" Mary admits nervously, I'm feeling anxious." Woo-ju chuckles. "What's there to be nervous about?" He takes her hand and brings her inside, where his grandmother is welcoming the guests. Mary can't gather the courage to talk to her, but Grandma takes one look and instantly realizes this is the girl Woo-ju likes. Everyone settles inside for the ceremony. Awards are being given out. Hankook is also present. Suddenly, he gets a call and learns Lee-sin and Sang-yeon are on their way. Woo-ju also gets this news and immediately texts Mary, asking her to come outside. She steps out and asks, "What happened?" Woo-ju quickly explains the situation. Mary worries, "What should we do now? If I suddenly disappear, the chairwoman won't like it." Woo-ju says, "Don't worry, I'll handle it. Just make sure you don't run into them." Mary goes to the restroom to stay out of sight, but there she unexpectedly spots the chairwoman talking to someone. A moment later, the chairwoman notices her too. She walks over and asks calmly, "Do you like my Woo-ju?" Mary blushes and nods slightly. "I'm a bit busy right now," she says nervously. "I have to go." The chairwoman smiles faintly and says, "All right, when you're free, come to my house. I'd like to talk to you. You do know that Woo-ju is my grandson, right?" Mary nods again, speechless. The chairwoman then leaves. As Mary heads out, she suddenly spots Lee-sin nearby. He has overheard the entire conversation. So, in the next scene, Lee-sin calls Sang-yeon and says confidently, "Don't worry, I think I can get a townhouse. It's the same one Mary won earlier." Just then, the ex-Woo-ju appears and says coldly, "Come inside." He looks him straight in the eyes and asks, "What's your relationship with Mary? Are you really married to her?" Meanwhile, Mary steps outside at the same time, just as the episode ends on that tense cliffhanger. The start of episode 10, we see the chairwoman stepping onto the stage. She begins telling the story of how she started this company. Nearby, Hankook receives a call. He's told that people from Beauty Place are on their way. Woo-ju finds out about this, and Jin Kyung keeps glancing at him. Mayeon smiles and says, "You're getting prettier every day. Do you have a boyfriend?" Mayeon jokes, "My son's single, you know." Young-soo tells his mom to stop embarrassing him. Woo-ju signals to Mary to come outside, which is the same moment we saw at the end of the previous episode. Next, Woo-ju talks to Lee-sin. He says, "Let's head inside." But Lee-sin stops him and says, "I need to ask you something. What's your relationship with Mary? Are you two really married?" Woo-ju hesitates, not knowing what to say. Just then, Jin Kyung walks up and tells Lee-sin she wants to talk to him. Lee-sin asks, "What are you doing here?" She replies, "I came for the event too." Jin Kyung takes him aside and tells him the truth, they're not actually married. Lee-sin is surprised, but she says, "No need to act shocked. I know you already knew." She remembers that time when the chairwoman was talking to Mary and Lee-sin overheard everything. She had seen him there. Jin Kyung says, "I know Woo-ju well." Lee-sin then asks, "Is he the guy you like?" She nods and asks, "So what are you planning to do now?" Lee-sin says the prize they received has to be returned. Jin Kyung agrees and says, "Then there's something you should see." She recalls coming to meet Lee-sin earlier. She wanted to return the clothes he had given her, but when she arrived, she saw the mayor talking to them. The mayor was saying, "Give me the town, and I'll make sure you get a permit for your new store." All of this was secretly recorded on camera. Later, Lee-sin watches the video and says, "Are you blackmailing me?" But Jin Kyung answers calmly, "No, just like you protect Sang-yeon, I'm protecting Woo-ju. What you do next is up to you." Later, Lee-sin is with Sang-yeon. Sang-yeon asks, "Earlier you said the town could be ours. What did you mean by that?" Lee-sin brushes it off, saying, "I was joking. I said it without thinking." Sang-yeon gets furious, yelling that he's wasting his time. He then mentions, "Remember that guy we met on the plane, the one named David? He sent flowers under the hotel's name." Lee-sin recalls the moment just an hour earlier. He had seen those flowers. He said he met David on the plane, and David told him he'd left the hotel a long time ago. But Hankook insisted that wasn't true, saying David must have been joking. The chairwoman, however, takes it seriously and tells her secretary, Joo-hee, to investigate David. 8. Next, Woo-ju visits Mary. He tells her what Lee-sin had asked and says, "Good thing Jin showed up in time and saved me." Mary asks, "Do they know each other?" Woo-ju says he's not sure, but thinks Jin handled the situation well. If she hadn't, he adds, "Lee-sin would have called us by now. You couldn't even meet my grandma. I'll schedule an appointment so you can meet her. Tonight we'll go see Lee-sin and talk to him." Mary hesitates, saying she's too nervous. Woo-ju smiles and says, "Don't worry, I'll go with you." He hugs her and kisses her. Just then, Sori shows up and rings the doorbell. They go to check who it is and realize it's Sori. She steps inside, looking around. At first, she doesn't notice Wooju. She starts talking about America, but when she turns around, she sees him. "Who's this?" she asks. Mary is about to answer, but Sori interrupts, recalling a previous moment and saying, "You must be Wooju." He nods. Sori studies him carefully and says, "You pass." Mary frowns. "Who are you to say that?" Sori snaps back, "Stay quiet or I'll tell him what you did when you were a kid." Mary quickly hushes her. Wooju says, "Okay, you two talk. I'll head out." Sori stops him, saying, "Where are you going? Finish what you were doing. I'll find an empty room for myself." Mary, confused, asks what she means. Sori glances at her lips and says, "I know what you two are doing." Mary quickly wipes her lips and leads Wooju outside. She apologizes, saying, "You must be mad because of what she said." Wooju laughs. "I'm fine, she's cute." He starts to leave, but Mary stops him for another kiss. He kisses her, says goodbye, and leaves. Meanwhile, Hankook remembers how the chairwoman told Joo-hee to investigate David. He calls her saying, "I need to tell you something." Later, he meets her and admits, "David never signed any contract with us. He didn't review anything. He tricked us." The chairwoman yells in disbelief, "What nonsense are you talking about? Call him now. I'm flying to America." She tries to stand but collapses. She reaches for her medicine, and Hankook quickly grabs it, helps her sit, and hands it to her. After taking it, she says, "We need to speak to David." But Hankook confesses, David doesn't work at the hotel anymore. He was fired 2 years ago. Shocked, she asks about the money they sent for the plant in America. Hankook says quietly, "There is no plant." He explains that Mayon had created a fake plant document on the computer, and all the consulting money went to his own company straight into his pocket. The chairwoman screams, "Why would you do this? How will you face your family?" But Hankook says coldly, "I won't see them again. You should have given me a share of the company long ago, but instead you handed me your miserable daughter like I was some beggar. But don't worry, soon everything will be mine. I'll sell the company." The chairwoman collapses unconscious. Hankook remembers the moment earlier when her medicine had fallen. He had secretly switched it with another one, making sure no one would notice. Then, he walked away. Next, everyone arrives at the hospital. The doctor says the surgery went well, but her condition is critical. If the bleeding increases, she might not survive. Wooju is heartbroken, standing beside his unconscious grandmother. Outside, Hankook makes a phone call and says, "Let's begin." News spreads fast. The media reports that the Pinlian company faked contracts with hotels and lost millions. Myeon, watching TV, turns it off in frustration. "They're all lying," she says. "My mother didn't even know the contract was fake. She would never do that." Young-soo asks his father, "What do we do now? Shouldn't we investigate David?" But his father says, "There's nothing we can do. The truth is, your grandmother already knew about the fake contract. She told me to keep it secret." Wooju then says, "Joo-hee told me she met David a few days ago." Hankook quickly replies, "Yeah, I know. I was there too. But we met for something else. If I had been more careful, none of this would have happened." Just then, Wooju gets a call from Joo-hee. They meet, and Joo-hee tells him, "Your grandmother asked me to keep an eye on David. If she had known the contract was fake, she never would have said that." In the final scene, Wooju goes to see his grandmother in the hospital. He looks at her and remembers her words. "There's embezzlement happening here, so I need to investigate the consulting company. But don't tell your uncle." Wooju's voice trembles as he says, "Grandma, I'm scared you might have been right." In the next scene, we see Mary with Seung-hee. Seung-hee looks at the comments and tells her that the public is boycotting Wooju's company. They want the chairwoman to return the award she received. Mary leaves after that and later meets Wooju. He asks her, "What did you want to talk about?" She says she just came to check on him. "Are you okay? Did you have dinner?" Wooju replies, "Now that you're here, I feel a little better." Mary looks at him and says, "If you want to say something, you can tell me." He stays silent, so she starts singing softly and says, "If I were you, I would have said it." Eventually, he opens up. Mary says, "So you're saying you suspect your uncle, but you can't ask him directly what he did, right? Because you once told me he's like a father to you. Still, you have to do something for the company. You have to protect it because you're going to be its next successor. Don't overthink it. Just do what you can." Wooju listens quietly, then hugs her tightly. In the next scene, Jin is sitting at a bar. She remembers the moment she saw Wooju and Mary hugging. She takes a drink, clearly bothered. Just then, Listen walks in. He spots her and sits nearby, drinking silently. Jin breaks the silence and says, "You could at least say hi. After all, we share a secret now. Thanks for following my advice." But Listen says, "I'm still thinking about her." Jin asks, "Is your boss pressuring you? You could use that recording to blackmail him." Listen shakes his head. "I can't do that. If I do, he'll cut funding for your hospital. This is the business world you wouldn't understand." He pauses and adds, "But there's something I don't get. You said that guy doesn't even like you, so why help him?" Jin answers softly, "Maybe you've never liked someone before. When you care about someone, you just want to protect them." Listen says, "Wooju doesn't even notice what you're doing for him, so why bother?" Jin tells him to stop talking. He apologizes. "You might have heard what I said earlier. I'm sorry for troubling you." Jin looks at him and says, "I didn't hear anything." She comforts him and adds, "You deserve better than that job. Maybe you should find something new. Do you want me to help you find one?" Listen smiles faintly at her words. Next, we see Min Young, who has just arrived in Korea. At home, she's talking to Hankook. He's holding a document and says, "From now on, you're the CEO of BK Capital. Your name will be Sylvia. This company invested a lot of money into the bakery, huge amounts. But you're not here for the money. You're here to take over the company." Min Young nods and says, "Got it. By the way, did you do what I asked?" He shows her the papers. It's a divorce document meant for Myung. Meanwhile, Wooju's employees are discussing how they'll need to apply for new jobs soon. BK Capital is about to buy the company, but Sejong and Won Seo say, "That'll never happen. We believe the company will survive." Then we see Sun Hee outside, talking to her family about her job. Wooju overhears everything from behind. Later, Wooju meets Mary again. He says, "I don't know what to do. If Grandma were here, none of this would have happened. There's so much pressure on me now. My employees' jobs depend on me. Tomorrow, I have a meeting with BK's CEO. Everything depends on that contract. If it falls through, everyone will lose their jobs." Mary tells him, "That's why I'm here with you. You were our biggest client. I wanted to see how you're handling things. By the way, can I know who BK Capital's CEO is? What's she like?" Wooju says, "I don't really know. I just know her name's Sylvia." He shows her a photo, and Mary looks shocked. "I've seen her somewhere before." She brings another photo and says, "Look, aren't these two the same person? My sister used to work at a restaurant in America, and this woman was the CEO there. Her name's Jessica." Wooju remembers the name Jessica. It was linked to J Consulting. They send the photo to Sori and ask her. Sori confirms, "Yeah, that's my boss. The man next to her is her husband. I saw them before when I went to drop off Henry." Mary realizes, then both of them are working together to steal the company. Wooju says, "That means David's involved with them too." Mary asks, "Do your aunt and brother know about this?" Next, we see Young-soo in his father's office, looking at the divorce papers. His mother walks in and asks what he's doing. "I'm going to visit Grandma," she says. "Can you give me a ride?" He nods. "Yeah, I'll come." In the next scene, Jessica, or rather Min Young, who is pretending to be Sylvia, arrives at the company. Wooju, Hankook, and Young-soo meet her for a business discussion. Wooju talks about employment security, saying, "If you take over the company, our employees will lose their jobs. They'll have nowhere to go." Jessica replies coldly, "That's not my concern. We're just investors. This is how it has to be." Young-soo tries to negotiate. "Can we have more time?" But Jessica refuses, saying, "It's too late. You've already destroyed your credit. No bank will lend you money now." Wooju tries to say more, but Hankook interrupts him and says to Jessica, "All right, we'll think about it." Afterward, Hankook scolds Wooju. "You shouldn't get emotional in meetings. This is business." Wooju wants to respond but remembers Mary's words that before taking any action, he needs to find out what his uncle truly wants. Wooju apologizes. "I shouldn't have done that, but what's our next move?" Hankook says, "We'll have to meet her demands. We'll sell the factories. I know it'll cause losses, but we don't have another choice." Later, Wooju tells Mary everything. He says they were pretending to be strangers all along. We have to do something. Mary replies, "If only the chairwoman were still alive." Next, we see Myung talking to her unconscious mother in the hospital, crying. "I won't be a bad daughter anymore. Please wake up." Suddenly, her mother's finger moves. Meanwhile, Young-soo is in the elevator, talking to his mother on the phone. Did Grandma wake up? Okay, I'm coming. Nearby, Hankook overhears everything. In the next scene, Hankook calls Min-young and says, Grandma woke up. We have to kill her. She knows everything about us. That night, Min-young sneaks into the hospital room. She's about to poison the chairwoman, but just then, the old woman opens her eyes and grabs her hand. She fights back. Woo-ju rushes in and catches Min-young red-handed. The police arrive soon after and arrest her. But then it's revealed the person in the bed wasn't the real chairwoman. It was actually a police officer in disguise. Woo-ju remembers how they came up with the plan. Mary had said, if only the chairwoman were alive. Then she added, wait, we can bring her back. When she wakes up, the real culprit will reveal themselves. Woo-ju later tells everything to Young-soo. Young-soo stays quiet. Woo-ju asks, you already knew, didn't you? Young-soo admits, yeah, I suspected my dad had a girlfriend in America, but I didn't know it was Jessica. Woo-ju adds, there's another problem, they're trying to sell the company together. Young-soo says, we don't have any evidence. Woo-ju replies, that's why I'm asking you to work on it. Young-soo agrees, all right, what do you need me to do? In the next scene, he purposely talks to his mom, saying, okay, Grandma woke up, I'm on my way. And Hankook overhears the whole conversation. After that, we already know what happens next. Min-jung gets taken away by the police. Mary says, Hankook didn't show up. Woo-ju replies, it's fine, this is just the beginning. When the police interrogate her, she'll tell them everything Hankook did. He's involved in all of this too. Mary smiles and says, all right then, we did a good job today. Let's go eat something. The next scene cuts to the media reporting that the bakery owner is innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. The police believe he was actually a victim, unaware that the contract was fake. The CEO of BK tried to kill the chairwoman. Sun-hee talks to Woo-ju about her new job, but suddenly the others walk in. They glare at her and say, you traitor. Sun-hee interrupts and says firmly, fighting. We just have to work harder. Later, a police officer calls Woo-ju and says, we checked her phone. She was working with David, but there's no connection with Hankook, as you mentioned earlier. Sari is with Henry feeding him. She tells him to put the toy away, but Henry insists, he's gonna eat with me. He's always with me. Then, Hankook visits Min-jung in jail. She tells him, Henry is being looked after by the restaurant manager. When all this is over, take him and go to America. Hankook assures her, don't worry, I'll get you out soon. By the way, you don't have any proof that I'm involved too, right? She shakes her head. No, I already threw my phone away and destroyed the server. Hankook returns to his office and finds Woo-ju waiting there. Woo-ju asks, where were you? He answers, I was at a meeting. Woo-ju confronts him. I know about your relationship with Min-jung. You even have a son. I can expose that you're trying to sell the company. Hankook stops him, saying, Min-jung blackmailed me. I didn't even know Henry was my son. I only managed J Consulting. I had nothing to do with any of this. Later, Woo-ju talks to Young-soo and tells him everything. Young-soo replies, I think he's lying. He hands Woo-ju a flash drive, saying, maybe you'll find something in here. Woo-ju checks it, but there's nothing important on it. He goes to meet Min-jung and says, I know about you and Hankook. You could have taken over the company without killing my grandmother. Why did you try to murder her? Maybe she already knew about you and Hankook. You think he's gonna save you, but he won't. His promises mean nothing. Then he plays the recording where Hankook admitted, she's blackmailing me. I have nothing to do with her. Woo-ju starts to leave, but Min-jung stops him. All right, I'll tell you where the evidence against him is, but promise me you'll protect Henry. Woo-ju nods and promises. Next, we see Hankook remembering a conversation with Min-jung. She had told him, do you really think you can get away with this? Even if I destroyed the server, I still have the evidence. He grows anxious, rushes home, and starts searching for it. He can't find anything until he steps on one of Henry's toys. When he picks it up and opens it, he finds the hidden evidence inside. The evidence includes several messages and a voice recording. Min-jung explaining how she arranged Woo-ju's parents' deaths, how she had their car's direction changed, and how a truck came crashing in, sending the car off the cliff. Someone, most likely Hankook, arrived at the scene afterward, texting someone, it's done. I killed them. In the present, Hankook carries the evidence with him, heading somewhere, but Woo-ju appears in front of him. Woo-ju looks him straight in the eyes and asks, "You killed my parents, didn't you?" Hankook stays silent. And the episode ends right there. We'll find out what happens next in episode 11, releasing this Friday.